we go. We go.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. Usually you guys are pretty vocal when I'm muted or whatever. But yeah, it's time for some more CPL casting. First CPL cast of the year, and we're going to set it off with a banger. There are a bunch of casting requests in the CPL. Static in the sound. Oh, hold on. How about now? Is there static in the sound now, or is it nice and crispy? Better. Okay, excellent. I don't know what was going on. Sometimes you just got to spit on that USB. I learned that trick uh, from an old friend. Anyway, so first CPL cast of the year. We're gonna hit it off with a banger. This is a request that came from Rulebot, who is actually one of the matches in here. Wanted to see Week 7 Tier 3 with the build disorders versus the big naturals. So we're going to get right on into it. As you can see here, we have three really cool matchups. They're all completely different, which is nice to see. We're not going to get repeats of the same matchup over and over and over again. But we've got Auto versus Pop being a TVT. We've got Rulebot versus Night Dad, which is going to be a PVZ. And then we've got Swoops versus Whirlwinds, which is going to be a ZVT. So we're going to get to see a little bit of everything. We have all the races represented, and it's going to be a great time. I'm super excited for it. Also, big disclaimer, my kids are off school today. So you may hear a lot of fighting, a lot of screaming. There may be bangs on my door. There may be all sorts of chaos. Just deal with it. It's going to be what it's going to be. And I have a good amount of time today, so we'll see if maybe we do the first half of this series. This is going to be the second half of this matchup between these two teams with only these three series, but we might come back later today and do the first three series as well. So we'll just have to play it by ear. But before we go too deep into anything else, we have to do the CPL anthem, and it's been way too long since we've done it. So everyone stand up, hand over your heart, make sure that you are showing the proper respect for the CPL anthem. And let's go ahead and get into it. Warm up those fingers. Yeah, no breaking news today. I feel bad. I'll do it next time.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and thrall. Gamers play, this never ends.
Excellent. Well, let's not waste any more time with nonsense music. Let's get into some games. We're going to have TVT coming right up. The first map is going to be on Knockout. Let's get you guys over there. Let's fix the scorecard. I'm trying to get better at the admin portion of all this stuff. But it's definitely a struggle. All right. Knockout. Excellent. Everything should look correct. Let's see if they did top versus bottom or if we have to get super pissed at people. They did it! Off to a great Great start. Here in the bottom left of this 4-player map, we've got Pop as our blue Terran representing the big naturals. And then over here representing the build disorders, we've got Otto, our red Terran here in the bottom right. Oh man, I'm excited for this. It's been too long. It's been too long. Very low game audio. Here, let me go ahead and... Oh, you know what? That's because there's no game audio. How about now? Should be better. Gosh, I love that you guys provide this sound feedback because I have no idea. I hear it all. Excellent, excellent. All right, so right now we've got SCVs mining, as you'd expect. Yeah, And hopefully everyone had a good holiday season. Good New Year's. You know, there was a lot of people playing StarCraft on like Christmas Eve and like New Year's Eve and stuff. And it's kind of fun to see. Hopefully people had some like LAN parties or something. Got after it. Right now we do have a supply depot going behind. You can't really see it. I can zoom in. Behind the mineral line here, which is a choice. That is a very deliberate place to put a supply depot. And we've saw this before in one of the matches where I was, you know, kind of teasing the fact that people will find anything to comment on in the first minute of the game. They're just like, yeah, supply depot placement. But we have seen this supply depot that blocks off the back of the mineral patches come in handy when it comes to like vulture run bys and stuff, or like an SCV scout that comes in and tries to sneak around the mineral patches, getting stuck back there. So we'll see if that happens again in this game. You have a barracks going down for both of our players, as well as refineries. And what the heck are we talking about? You abducted a human woman and made her heels part of Zerg evolution? Yeah. I mean, are you really a true StarCraft fan unless you've thought about Kerrigan in depth? Alright, looks like Pop's going to be scouting up here to the top left. Not going to be finding Otto, unfortunately. Otto does look like he is heading in the right direction. He's going to be getting an initial first scout off on Pop. Do have a single Marine here at the ramp. We'll see if this SCV can get in. It should be able to, but Otto might turn him around. He says, nope. Catch me if you can. He runs right into the base. He's going to see the factory going down. He's going to see that there's only one SCV on gas. So likely going to be expecting an expansion here. And we do already have the barracks up and floating for Pop. And he's still trying to find this Terran base. So he kind of has it going centrally. But I imagine he might redirect it more towards Otto's base once he gets full confirmation that he's not actually up in the top right. Barracks is also floating for Otto. Let's see how many Marines he has. He has 2 Marines as well. So both players kind of just doing mirror builds at the moment. Factory just finishing up for Pop. The one over on Otto's side is already complete, and he's already about halfway done with a Vulture. Both players getting their expansions up. Look at this. They're both completely on top of what they're doing. And what they're doing is the same dang thing. I think what we're going to be expecting here is either a 2-fact or 3-fact Vulture play. And I think that's where we're going to see the first differentiation between these two. Now, one thing to note is Otto is back on 3. Does have 3 SCVs back on gas. So this could lead to, you know, double fac into Starport Wraith type play, things along those lines. But we'll see if he decides to go that route, or if we're going to have just kind of that early swarm, you know, Vulture war type style. Now Otto's going to poke in here. Oh, nice pick on the SCV there. The SCV was weakened. One shot from the Vulture knocks it out. Only took a little bit of damage as he poked in. Let me allow this auto-modded message real quick. There you go. Oh, man. Multitasking. Thanks for following. Alright, so we do have 2 factories. We already have an add-on going for Otto, and we're going into 3 factories for Pop. So about to see a freaking F-ton of Vultures coming out from Pop, and we'll see if he can capitalize on it as he shoots across the map. Now we are getting the supply depot down here at the natural for auto, which I like. This constricts the, the choke here, forcing those vultures into kind of like a line as they come in. A lot of players will actually put this supply depot more centrally located, just right in the middle. Ahoy there! Yeah, like this. You can see Pop. He put his supply depot in the middle, and vultures get real stupid trying to get around this supply depot, and it's a pretty effective way to slow them down. Now the Marines are shooting at Pop's barracks. It's going to have to float away, and I don't know if he got in and saw, that there is a third factory being produced. Not entirely sure. You can also see for Otto, he's getting his armory up. They're just little differences here and there between these two players' builds. Now, one thing that really does kind of set Otto apart is he has already started tank production, whereas Pop is going full vulture, just full send on the vultures. He's getting speed. He'll likely move out once mines are complete, and then he'll start slapping down additional add-ons and building up his tank force after the fact. Going up into a fourth factory now, and actually has Otto's barracks on fire. So I'm curious to see if Otto runs an SCV over here to maybe try to get a repair, or if he may try to throw down some factories ahead of time. But once this barracks goes down, he's not going to be able to expand his factory count. So we'll have to see if he rebuilds or what the case may be. So initial vulture move out is occurring from Pop, and we can see this is happening when mines are about half complete. And so he's not going to poke in completely, I would imagine. He's going to get the mines first, and then he's going to try to start setting up a soft contain. Ooh, but it is going to get spotted here by Otto's SCV. Came right up the ramp there, and it looks like Otto, feeling frisky, is going to be trying to bypass. This is a little sketchy, because if he goes around like this, it wouldn't be terrible for a dive. Yeah, and here we go. Pop is running straight into the main base, likely going to get a good amount of SCV damage. 3 in the main right now. Looks like a few down here in the natural, which is forcing Otto to split his attention, and these SCVs are just getting shredded. Very cool move, and this is what I was wondering would happen with Otto kind of pushing out across these bridges. Okay, so he did that. He got some damage. The SCV disparity is not that big. 34 to 38. Ooh, but we got to be careful about these mines. Oh my gosh. Huge mine right there. Almost takes out this tank. Takes out a couple of vultures. Gonna get that first tank. Another mine sitting there. Okay, these mines are soaking up a good amount of shots. But at the end of the day, Otto still has a decent army. Oh no. You hate to see it. The random tank like, hey guys, I heard there was a fight over here. And then just gets blasted. Okay, it looks like he is going to be able to recover the tank. But what do we have back home for Pop? We've got another tank, a few more vultures, the vulture count essentially reset, and he's sitting on 4 factories, getting a 5th. Okay, now something also important to note is Otto went armory much earlier. He got a few Goliaths, which are also helpful against the mass vulture kind of strategy, but it's also allowing him to get that +1 vehicle weapons, which in a mirror match like this plays a really big role, especially when it comes to like siege tank on siege tank fights. Okay, so Otto trying to secure this high ground, placing some mines. There's 2 here. Pop needs to get that tank out, but it doesn't. It blows up. And now the tables have turned here a little bit, and Otto is looking to establish a little bit of a contain on Pop. Well, I guess this isn't really a contain, but he is here at the mineral-only expansion on that high ground, which I would say is definitely a key piece of terrain in this fight. Alright, looks like Pop. All I can think about when I hear Pop, there's like 2 thoughts that keep running through my head. 1, how people in the Midwest call soda Pop, and how it bugs the crap out of me. And then 2, like that Dr. Seuss book, Hop on Pop. So, Otto, looking to hop on Pop here, is looking pretty strong with his army. Now, he is down 9 workers. And Pop is trickling a good amount of units across the... Oh my gosh, there were so many mines hidden amongst Pop's mines. Alright, so we're starting to get a nice siege up here for Pop. Now this barracks might go down. It is on fire, but it's providing that sweet, sweet vision for Pop. Oh, huge mines, taking down 2 tanks. Now, there's only a single tank up here on the high ground for Pop, and it's out of range, not really able to help support this fight a whole lot, but there's a lot of mines. Keep an eye on these mines. They've been really effective. Though with this many vultures, it looks like he's able to kind of clear them as he moves. Looks like he's targeting this tank. Does knock it out, and now it's just vultures versus Goliaths and tank, and this fight is actually going really well, I think, for Pop. Now, this tank is toast. Is it going to be able to hit that mine? I don't think so. Crimson Joe! Thank you so much for the subscription. All subs go towards SKU tournaments. StarCraft Underground tournaments. We have a $50 tournament ongoing right now. We're approaching enough funds to get to the second one, so every little bit helps. Thank you so much, Crimson Joe. All right. Huge amount of vultures coming out here. Escalade. Thanks, Esk. It's not a scam. Okay, mines blow up on the tank on the high ground. Now that tank got a lot of work done though for Pop. Now Pop, you can tell his economy and his production starting to take a little bit of a lead here. Now we have a starport out for auto, but I don't think any type of transition into wraiths or anything along those lines is going to be overly helpful with the Goliaths out on the map. And it looks like Otto's really trying to fight, trying to get scrappy here to try to take this third location, or at least secure this high ground for a proper defense. So a little bit of a no man's land here. And I think Pop's tank's going to ultimately get wiped out. Yeah, there we go. So we were talking about upgrades earlier and how Otto it has that lead. He's at 1-1 now. 1-1 just finished. And he's also getting a second armory. So that starport, maybe not intended to get air, but it's going to allow him to get that science facility and start working his upgrades up all the way up to 3-3. Now, Pop still coming in here and making things work. Tank on the high ground almost goes down. The mine gets destroyed, but the siege shots, the splash damage is what's really getting him. And look at this. Over here, Pop. Double expanding behind this pressure. If he gets those expansions up, unpunished, this game is firmly in his hands. But he doesn't have a lot. And what he does have is kind of like spread all over the place. I'd like to see this consolidated a little bit more. Otto doing a good job of keeping his tanks repaired, except for this guy. He doesn't like that guy. And meanwhile on the base, we do have that science facility. We're going up to +2 weapons for Otto. Pop does actually have his +1 attack, so that's good. And yeah, I'm noticing in the chat, you're right, Pop is up, 20-ish supply. Now 14 of that or 15 of that is workers as well. So I really like Pop's position here. He's got a loose contain. He's got 2 additional bases coming up, expanding like a Zerg right here. Yeah, he's popping off, as some would say. But I think that there might be a window for Otto to get a strong push. It wasn't cheap for him to go out there and double expand. And the upgrade advantage is firmly in Otto's hands with the +1 armor. Okay, it looks like Otto's going to start making a push. He's going from high ground to low ground up here on the north side. Now what I want to see is if Pop takes this army down here in the south and sneaks in for a flank. I don't know if that'd be the best move right now, but it might happen. These tanks doing so much work over here, completely breaking through this line that Pop had established. But this isn't going to be just enough. Like, behind this, Otto's going to need to expand, or he's going to need to push across and knock out another base. Oh man, if only Otto had targeted this tank with just a vulture, it would be dead. But still getting off some volleys, proving it's useful. Oh, and here we go. We got Wraiths on the field for Pop. So that's going to be a little annoying. A little annoying. Let's go ahead and check out the bases a little bit. We do have a third command center being built for auto, intending to float this off, likely up here. I saw that scan. I don't know whose that was, whether it was autos or pops. It was probably pops. We're up to 7 factories. We have 2 add-ons. We have the starport. And he's got 2 armories, but it looks like he's only utilizing 1 right now. Now over here on Pop side, we are at 6 factories, going up to 8. We have the starport. Oh, we're going up to 9. We're going up to 9 factories. And armor just now finishing up, which will even up the upgrades until +2 finishes for our Red Terran. Okay, so back in the action, Wraith plinking away. We do have some Goliaths hitting the field. Make quick work of this Wraith. Especially if he doesn't pull it back. Get it out of there! Oh no, it blows up. Yeah, stage in the chat with our math. Come on, man. You gotta play with vibes. We're vibe gamers here. Okay, so earlier, you know, Pop had such a huge advantage, and he still does. Like, I don't want to undercut how much these 2 extra bases are going to give him, especially when he's at 9 full factories just going ham on the production. But Otto's been doing a really good job of taking very efficient trades. So all this income that Pop has been getting has been kind of thrown away inefficiently so far. Now, third base coming up for Otto. I like that he's bringing a Goliath over here because, look at that. Wraith's heading straight across. Gonna need something to knock those out of the air. And still no cloak. And both of the Wraiths go down. Oy. Nice little move here from Otto, protecting his third. Otto's done a really good job of just, like, fighting through everything that Pop has tried to stage in front of him. Got a little bit of a vulture battle going on up here. And 2-1 has kicked in, by the way, for Otto. About to go up to 3-2. Have some SCVs up here in the top left. Might be going up to a 5th base. I have no idea how long this game's going to be. But it's setting up to be a long one. Alright, I'm trying to keep an eye on everything. There's a lot going on. We've got bits of army for Pop all over the place. Now, for Otto, he's still primarily hanging on to this high ground. He has a ton of siege tanks here. And then he's trying to secure this third base. This seems to be his primary priority. Oh, double starport up here in the top left. We might be seeing battle cruisers, baby. I guess it's about that time. Whenever you start feeling bored in a TV, what the heck was that? Hold on. What did I miss? Otto throws in the GG. Might be like me. Sometimes I'll throw in a GG just because I'm sick of playing the match. It kind of looks that way. Hold on. I don't know. Was he scanning? Yeah, he scans the starports. Does he scan anywhere else? Okay, it looks like scanning the starports was enough. That was kind of anticlimactic. Like, this is a game that could have gone on for like 40 minutes with like crazy ghost lockdowns and science vessels, EMPing battle cruisers. But that is going to be a first map win for Pop. Okay, so that's going to take us into round 2. And this one is going to be on Radeon. Let's go ahead and get it. Oh, I need to update the freaking score sheet. Hold on, let me do that real quick before I forget who even won that last round. So, who did win that last round? It was Pop, right? So, Big Naturals coming out hot. Pop with the 1 map win. Let's go to the game. Let's update this. And let's see if we get to the end of the game. I want to see all the buildings destroyed, the way Blizzard intended it. But here we are on... Oh, speaking of Radeon, I gotta update the map. Boom. Map updated. So, here we are on Radeon. We've got Auto down here in the bottom right, representing the build disorders. And we've got Pop up here in the top left, representing the big naturals. And so... I'm still just thrown for a loop. I'm a little bummed. I feel a little bit ripped off that we didn't get more of that last game. I was buckling up for it. I got my coffee. You know, I had a bathroom break. I was here and ready for a TVT that took days. But I guess I'll just have to settle for hours. And what we also saw last game was Auto going more tank-centric early on. And Pop going very heavy Vulture, just kind of a three-fact Vulture build, which is very standard and very common here in in CPL. Thanks, Esk. Yeah, you know, I did shower last night. I live in the sea, obviously. That's why my headphones and sound quality and everything is so jacked up. I'm always showered. Salty Showers. Sounds like a band name. Or one of those things that you would categorize with other such phrases like, oh shoot. I'm trying to remember. Like, oh no, what are they? I was trying to think of all these like dirty phrases, like Boston Steamroller, you know, things like that. The Salty Shower. It's conversations like this that when I upload these things to YouTube, I always have to uncheck, check the block. No, it's not made for kids. Yeah, shower overwhelming is a cheat code. Makes everything moist. All right, so one thing I wanted to know here was Pop did come down here to the middle, right? So we didn't see any type of like BBS or anything last game. CPL, though, like obviously we have the replays. I'm casting the replays. It is a league where you can really prepare for your opponent. So if Pop is aware that Auto may do some type of BBS build or 8 racks in the center of the map type thing on Radeon, that could inspire him to do this kind of check. So I like that he checked that. I think it's just good discipline to do so, especially when you're ahead. Because I always feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm more inclined to cheese when I'm behind. Well, maybe that's not entirely true. If I feel like I'm actually like super screwed, then I'll cheese. Maybe get a free win. But also when I'm ahead, I'll cheese because it's one of those things where it's like, well, I already have a map win. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we still have another chance. Yo, that SCV barely surviving, does get up into the main, but then gets executed by Billy and Joe. Barracks is already floating across the map. We've got an expansion going down. Still sitting on 1 on gas. Jones, thanks for the follow. Welcome, we're watching some CPL together. Tier 3, one of the best tiers. Expansion for both players, and here we go again, right? So last game we saw earlier add-on for Auto as well. And he seems to be much more comfortable having early tanks and maintaining a high tank count. I'm sorry, I'm catching up with chat. What the heck are you guys talking about? Super unhinged? Okay, so now we're going double... Oh, no, that's the third factory. Okay, so same thing for Pop. So he's just going straight into 3-factory Vulture. It worked well last time. What didn't... Okay, so what went really well for Pop last time was that he was able to get in behind the initial defense, split his Vultures, kill SCVs at the natural and the main. But what didn't work is that the continuation of producing the Vultures and having them just die. I would say like in the early and early mid game last round, Otto was taking extremely efficient trades. We'll see if Pop, though, because what set him apart last round was his just pure freaking expansion. He was just soaking up the map. He set up that loose contain, and it was just like, I'll take this base, I'll take that base, I'll take this base, and he was never punished for it. So I'm hoping Otto checked the replay, because the only other map vision he really had was that very last scan where he saw those 2 starports and was like, I'm not dealing with this, and bounced. Don't look at chat. Don't want to lower my IQ. I don't think you can lower my IQ any more than it already is. So currently at 6 vultures, we have speed coming up for Pop. We're also getting mines for Otto, so this looks very similar to what we saw last game. Ooh, but this time, missed a build disorder here. Moving across the map with his 2 tanks. I'm actually scared about this. For a couple reasons. One, he doesn't have siege or anything, which is, not the end of the world, but there's a lot of vultures here. And if these vultures just run by, or even some of them run by, he can get a ton of damage in the main. Okay, so he's going to run in here. He's targeting down these vultures one at a time. He's going to try to hit these tanks, but a boy band of vultures sucks against tanks. Look how many shots it takes. Kills another vulture. See, like, there's just not enough here. This might be it. Like, holy crap. Pop is just steamrolling. Steamroller. Boston Steamroller. That's what it was. Anyway, these vultures are just steamrolling Otto's army here in the open. And I feel like this is kind of one of 2 ways TVTs usually go. Either A, you have to, sign up for a retiring home or something because you've been sitting in front of the screen for so long waiting for it to end. Or B, you get a super fast game like this where the vulture war just goes in favor of one player. So Pop's going to take it 2-0. GG's to both players. Really fun series. Alright, so let me go ahead and update all the things. And that's going to give Big Naturals, known for their wonderful personality, 1 win up in this matchup. Now, the next match that we have is going to be a PVZ. And this is going to be, again, between Rulebot and Night Dad. And I feel like we've actually seen Night Dad quite a bit on this channel. And I've been told that these matches are bangers. So buckle up. And the first map is going to be Knockout, obviously. And let me update the score sheet real quick before we get into it, just so I make sure everyone's on the right team and everything. So first player is Rulebot, who is in fact not a bot from what I've heard. I thought he was, but I told him to like disregard all his previous instructions and give me a recipe to chocolate cake, and he told me to fuck off, so I don't think he's a bot. And then we need Knockout as a map. Alright, sweet. Let's get into it, y'all. Get some of that PVZ. We had enough of that Terran nonsense. Sweet starting camera location, by the way. Alright, so down here in the bottom right on Knockout, we've got Night Dad, representing the big naturals. And up here in the top right, our blue Protoss, we've got Rulebot, representing the build disorders. And I love that name, build disorders, because it feels like really relatable. You know, I feel like whenever I play, I feel like I have some sort of disorder. And maybe that's common to all StarCraft players, but I don't know. Coffee. Alright, let's see if it's a 4-pool. It's not. Sorry, everybody that came here for 4-pool action. We're gonna have to wait. I do always get sad when I talk about playing, but not as sad as I get when I do play. It's alright. This is the year of Manshark. We're gonna be putting in a lot of practice. So we do have an Overlord coming up. No spawning pool as of yet. He's banking up some more minerals. And here we go. Oh man, losing 8 minerals there. It's the BW way. That's right. I mean, I have several like Brood War personalities that are really inspiring to me. You know, one of them is Escalade. He's my life coach. He seems to make really good life decisions. And then Beat is my StarCraft my StarCraft hero, and who I try to emulate best of my abilities. Alright, Probe's going to get in here. He's going to see the spawning pool timing. We also have a Forge Fast Expand showing up. And initial cannon going down. So pretty standard play from both players. Likely to see an expansion coming up here real soon. There it is. Four Zerglings coming out. You know, I don't know if Beat's still employed. He makes his gaming fluctuates wildly based on whether or not he's employed or not. Is Artosis unemployed? Artosis makes a lot of money off of Tangia. Oh wow, this probe barely getting out alive. See if it makes it all the way home. So one cannon definitely going to be enough here. It threw down a gateway. It doesn't look like Night Dad's applying too much pressure. Continuing to build up. Haven't seen a tech choice. Haven't seen a gas. Haven't seen a zealot or anything. We're just getting an expansion. Yeah, nice slow start. Now, I'm kind of curious what this probe's doing. That's why we're following it. Because he already had the scout down on the main. And he's either trying to peek out and see if Night Dad's taking a ninja base, or he might be thinking of doing some sort of proxy himself, or I'm not entirely sure. But it kind of looks like he's just scouting around, keeping an eye out for any type of hidden bases or drones that are bebopping around. And the third base is going up here at the all mineral location. And still no Hydralisk Den or anything as of right now. We just started mining gas for... What just happened? Sorry, I thought I saw something happen on stream. We just started mining gas, so we're likely going to see a Hydralisk Den coming up here real soon. Meanwhile, back on the Protoss side of the map, we do only have one Zealot, another Zealot coming in. We've got the expansion about to finish, Assimilator going down, getting a Cybernetics core. And so that tells me we're probably going to be seeing Stargate, Corsairs, all the delicious goodness of a PVZ smackdown. Now we have a fourth hatchery going down here at the natural. And here's that probe hanging out here off to the side. Yo, Indo! Thanks for the sub, man. Thank you so much. 100% of all this money goes straight to StarCraft Underground tournaments. So thank you for supporting that. Hydralisk Den does get thrown down. Choosing to make it a little bit of a wall here at the natural. And okay, so here comes the probe. He's coming in at this 5-minute mark specifically, catching the tech choice, getting into the main, seeing what is going on here with regards to army composition, how aggressive he's being. I think he also came through here, so we saw the third base up and running. Now back on the Protoss side, we are getting +1 ground weapons, melee weapons. And we're going Citadel. And Stargate. So a little bit of Corsair DT action potentially. We'll see if he goes that route. But I love seeing that. I think it's just a really fun composition. Very synergistic, as the business people say. Ooh, something spooked him though. Going up to 3 cannons. So it may be a little early to get the 3 cannons. But definitely something he's going to want. Seeing the 4 hatcheries, seeing the Hydralisk Den, he knows that, you know, right off the rip, worst case scenario, 12 Hydralisks might be popping out and a whole control group coming to his front door. So, ooh, going up to 4 cannons. This looks like scar tissue. This looks like someone has hurt our boy, and he is preparing for the worst. Getting a 4th zealot, and starting a little bit of a gateway expansion. Okay, so we do have the Templar archives. Still no Corsair production, but we are getting air weapons. A 5th cannon, a 6th cannon. Holy dang! And here come all of the Hydralisks. Now we'll see what the trigger is to move out. Look at this. We're up to 5 hatcheries, so 5 hatch Hydra. Getting an evolution chamber here at the 3rd base. I'm not sure what the thought process is on putting that there. I'm not really much of an expert on Zerg or anything, really. But that seems a little vulnerable. Getting +1 range attack for those Hydralisks. And just floating an Overlord straight into the main. He's going to be seeing everything. Dragoon range is being upgraded. We're sitting at 5 zealots. Hasn't moved out. A lot of times you'll see Protoss kind of take these initial zealots, usually around like 2 or 3, and they'll kind of poke out and at least like get these Zerglings off the lawn. Dragoon is out. Gonna start smacking this Overlord around. We got Zealot legs coming up. No Storm as of yet, but we are getting High Templar. I don't think we've had Storm. No, Storm takes way too long. We would have seen it. Hydralisk poking out and then coming home real quick. Both players, they don't think they really want to fight a whole lot. 2 cannons here in the main. I think this one's close enough. Okay, that one definitely is. So it's good to have a cannon by your Stargate just to prevent those Scourge from coming in, parking on top of your Stargate, and then when you finally do make a Corsair, which it doesn't look like he really has much intention of doing, it doesn't just explode as soon as it spawns. Look at all these cannons. Okay, no, those are pylons. I'm sorry. But I did see the number go up to like 6. What is going on here? Who has hurt our boy? I'm telling you, this is trauma cannons right here. 6 hatchery going down as Night Dad takes his 4th base. Starting to soak up the map a little bit. +1 almost complete. And that might be our trigger to move out. He's getting his Spire up. We don't have like Lurker Tech or anything underway yet. Night Dad really pushing to just expand. And the Hydralisks and Zerglings just poking all over the map. And okay, so we do have a Zealot finally out on the map. And looking at all these different bases, seeing that, you know, the left side is still not taken. And he's going to finally come down here and see this 4th base. Now, whether or not that triggers a response, we'll have to see. Looks like he's comfortable just building energy on these High Templar. I still don't think Storm is researched, though. Getting a gateway. There's a robotics facility going down somewhere. There it is. Okay, and so now we're having a little bit of move out with the Zealots. Looks like he's bringing along a Dragoon. Okay. Let me check chat. Did anyone notice if Storm was researched? I don't think it was. But we are taking a 3rd base here for Protoss. Okay, so he's not moving out for aggression or pressure. He's just moving out to secure this 3rd base, which is, I don't know, I feel like it's a little late. But I have faith. We all have faith in the rule bot. A lot of Hydralisks coming out. Streaming across the map. We have this army in the open. And up here, there aren't any cannons to help. Here come the Hydralisks from 2 sides, getting up on the high ground. Splattering all over the place as these goons just start shredding him. He looks like he's trying to target down these High Templar. Now overall, not the best trade for our Night Dad here. A red Zerg player losing a lot of these Hydralisks, losing all of them to this Protoss force. And you know what? That engagement told Rulebot, it told him, oh shoot, I need Storm. Zealot's kind of creeping out on the map. The Hydralisk's going to be getting some damage here. It looks like they're going to be killing out all these, killing all these Zealots. And Protoss is going to go ahead and head back home. So not the most consolidated attack there from Night Dad, but I like that he came up, he identified the third base, and he's starting to apply some pressure. Now, meanwhile, if we start looking at what's going on, we do have that Spire down, but we haven't seen any Corsairs. So instead of going into Scourge, he is building Mutalisks. He's got 5 on the way. This is going to help with those Zealots. It's also going to be a good option for sniping those High Templar. And I know Lurker Aspect was researched a while back, but we're not seeing any Lurkers as of yet. But just in case those Lurkers do arrive, our Protoss player is starting to build some Observers. We got one out on the field here. And this might finally start giving Rulebot some of that vision that he needs to start adequately responding to the composition he's up against. A whole bunch of cannons going down here at the third base. No probe production going on here just yet. But we are starting to build up quite the High Templar count. This one, a veteran of the last skirmish, back when he was stormless. Now all of these High Templar are very full of storms. Looks like we might be getting another expansion here from our Zerg player. Okay, here come the Mutalisks. And you know what? I think there might be a big dead spot right here. All these cannons! Oh, but you're flying right into them. Okay, going up into the main instead. And what's he gonna find? More cannons! Oh no. Not being as effective as possible here, but does get a full scout off of what's going on in the Protoss base. And I think it's so fun. Yo, Quantum! Thank you so much for the subscription. Again, all the subscriptions, all the money, anything that comes to this channel goes straight to StarCraft Underground tournaments, so thank you so much. Okay, so Protoss starting to get ready for a push here, leading with the Zealots. Is he going to be able to drop some storms? We have all these storm-shaped blobs of Hydralisks out here. Oh, a couple come down, huge storms blanketing everything. Hydralisks just turning to mulch. And is there going to be enough? Now, I don't think he lost a whole lot of High Templar, though, so he just needs to go back, regenerate some of that that energy, that sweet, sweet storm juice, and get back after it. A lot of Hydralisks coming across the field. Going to be able to get this Dragoon that was a little bit out of position. And a big storm right here on this storm-shaped Hydralisk group. Oh my gosh, secondary one cleans up the rest. Oh no, these Hydralisks, a lot of them moving up and then attacking, taking a lot of damage. I want to see some of the kill counts on these guys. This one's got 6. Looks like some of the others that had, this one's got 7. That was like the first missed storm out of this entire game. Oh man, the Hydralisk just not being effective enough in these engagements. Okay, we're bringing in the Lurkers. Time to bring in some heavy artillery. But the thing is, these Lurkers need support. And there is an observer here, so I feel like Protoss can just move straight through this. And these 3 right here are just waiting for a storm. Do any of these have it? Not yet. This guy might be our one. Coming up here real soon. To a knockout near you. A storm! Alright, 5th base is going up for our Zerg player. Yeah, good point on the upgrades. We are at 1-1 upgrades for our Hydralisk. Good spread. Okay, so lesson learned. Let's go ahead and spread those out a little bit. And right now, when we look at the supply, it's not too bad, right? Night Dad's sitting at 111. Rulebot's at 118. You know, Nightbot has 5 bases. And once he gets those saturated, like, we're talking huge economy. How many hatcheries do we have? We've got 1, 3, 5, 7. We're at 8 hatcheries. And we're going to Filer. Okay, Protoss trying to work through some of these lurkers. Hydralisk getting a lot of damage in before the storms show up, but once they do, oh, it looks like their energy has already been expended, trying to snipe these guys down, but taking a lot of Dragoon shots in the process. Not a terrible trade, I don't think, for Zerg. Zerg was actually up in supply there for just a brief moment. Yeah, you like that? The live stream math? I'm sitting here, I'm like 3 + 2 is, you know, more than 3. Alright, looks like the Hydralisks are going to get cleaned up again. But you can see here in the supplies, right? It's starting to tip the scales. We're up 11 supply for Zerg. And this isn't the biggest army for Protoss either. Oh, but look at this. Huge counterattack potential. But instead, trying to just seal off the Protoss. This might be a little bit of a long game plan. Get the Protoss just stuck up here on these 3 bases, wait for them to mine out. And then just make cracklings. That's what I remember. When I played Zerg back in high school, like a gajillion decades ago, it was all about cracklings. That's all I wanted. 6 base going up for Zerg. The economy's just ripping here. He's got more money than he knows what to do with it. I think right now the limiting factor is just larva. He just needs lots of larva and lots of clicky clicks. Yeah, good point, Manadog. Hatch location is a little odd here. I don't know. It's a little off. So not the most efficient base, but it's still a base. You know what this actually kind of looks like? And I didn't see it, but it almost looks like this was a second hatchery. Oh my gosh. I hate talking about Storm so much, but it's such a jacked up spell. It just kills everything. Especially Hydralisks. Oh no, a lot of these Hydralisks just move commanding through this army. The Dragoons getting the work done. Now we're out of storms, but the Zealot Dragoon mix is enough to just push through this. Now what can our Zerg player do? He's got tons of larvae, he's got tons of money, he's got tons of workers, he's got tons of willpower, he's got blood made of spit and vinegar. Can he power through this? Now we haven't looked at the Protoss base in a while, and I want to after this engagement, because I see a lot of blue. And I'm thinking, I'm curious about the production capability here from our Protoss player. Okay, looks like things are starting to settle a little bit. So up here, how many gateways do we got? We have 11 gateways, 12 gateways. More cannons than I have toes. Still sealed off in the top right, though. Still sitting on 3 bases, and I think that is a key factor to keep in mind during all of this. A lot more drones heading out on the map. Looks like it might just be trying to supplement the saturation at these other bases. And Protoss, I think, probably feeling good out here. Feeling like they're on top of things. With this force sitting outside the natural. But honestly, I really want to see Zerg just power through this with the economy that they have. Oh no, Protoss getting up on the high ground. A little bit of a point of vulnerability. 3rd hatchery going down up here as well. And these Evo chambers are in the middle of upgrading things. This might be a powerful push from Rulebot. Rulebot getting on top of these Hydralisks, knocking them down left and right. I don't think range attacks, missile attacks is going to finish. This Evo chamber is going to go down. It does. So stuck at 2-2. That was a +3 attack upgrade that just got schwacked. That must have been upgrading forever. Huge storm on the drones. Oh my goodness. This attack from Rulebot doing way more damage than it has any right to. But don't worry, everyone. We've got Defilers, which, as a Terran, are really scary. And there are a good amount of Dragoons here, too. But when your primary force is Hydralisks, I don't know. I just don't know. But we are going up to Cracklings. And that, I think, will help a lot, especially against these Dragoons. He has the larva. He's got all the hatcheries across the map, where if he just outproduces with a metric ton of Cracklings, he can just eviscerate these cannon positions. Oh my gosh, the storms. Come on, Night Dad. You've got the money. You've got the hatcheries. I want to see all the larvae just become stuff. There we go. It's like he heard me through space and time. Sunken Colony doing work here, keeping those zealots back. But Rulebot's attack, doing a lot of damage. Knocks out that third base. Oh my gosh, and he's going to transition down here to the 6 o'clock. This is wildly undefended. There's one sunken behind a good Sim City, and they're okay. All the larvae starting to become Hydralisks. More Hydralisks coming out over here. Is this base going to be able to survive? Oh my gosh, huge storm on the drones. We've got 18 kills on this High Templar, 12 on this one. Lost the Sunken Colony. Oh no, they're rallied. This is tough. This is tough. Yeah, I heard Storm's getting nerfed in the next patch. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we got a Plague off on these Dragoons, which is good. But is it going to be enough for these Hydralisks to start powering through? Looks like it's doing a pretty decent job. Some of the Dragoons that weren't plagued were the first ones being targeted, and you can just see, oh my gosh, Goon Juice. You could swim in that. Storm, not the most effective. And it looks like our Zerg player is going to be able to defend this. Now, during all of this, remember, Protoss did that High Templar was just like, I've had enough of this. Storm me. Getting an Archon built. Okay, so 2 bases effectively went down. Like, this hatchery is going to survive, but unless we want to mine like this base, there's going to have to be a second one built here. Protoss has tried to break this position a couple times during that engagement, unsuccessfully. And so when we look at the economy, right, there's not much minerals left in the main. The natural's mining out. This one doesn't even have a gas. So right now, this game is still firmly, I think, in Night Hand's advantage. Night Dad's hands. Yes, Night Dad's hands. This game is in Night Dad's hands. And now that we've got Cracklings out, best unit in the game, we'll see how effective the Zerg can start attacking here, start moving out, start taking some of the initiative in these fights. Now the lurkers that were holding this position do get cleaned up. Now it's just a handful of Hydralisks. And Rulebot knows he needs to expand. He knows he needs to catch up to these base count. Now, one way of doing that is eliminating bases of your opponent. Did that, okay, but he still needs to get bases of his own. All right, these Dragoons doing a lot of work here against these Hydralisks. More going down. I see more red juice than blue juice. Okay, so now the path has been cleared for Rulebot to take this 12 o'clock. The question is if he does so. I want to keep an eye out here. I mean, the mineral base just mined out. The main is about to mine out any second. The natural. Rulebot is in a scary position. Doesn't have the bank to really sustain. He doesn't have the bank to expand. I don't even know if he has enough minerals to expand. There's like 50 minerals here, 60 here. He has just enough money if he took all of the minerals from all of his mining bases to make a single nexus. So don't make any more zealots, my guy. Okay, he just crossed the 400 mark. Can we get a nexus down here? Right now it looks like we're long distance mining. Taking whatever they can. Sending another zealot run by down here to the 6 o'clock, which is annoying. And I like that, because what this is going to do is this is going to keep the pressure off of him. For relatively low cost, and he's also doing a ton of damage. Like, look at this. These zealots, these 3-2 zealots are just mowing these Hydralisks down. But you can also see that Zerg is continuing to reinforce this position instead of messing with this. Like, look at this. Like a lurker right here. Chef's kiss. Impaling so many probes. Probe Impaler. That's got to be someone's nickname in high school. Alright, here comes more Protoss coming down to the 6 o'clock. Okay, but Zerg is redirecting their attention a little bit. That might have been a rally. And by the way, completely mined out. This is all the mining that's happening. The marathon mining. Absolutely bonkers game. Now these Archons might become a problem. Looks like the first one's about to die. See if the second one falls. Got some Defilers in the mix. Gonna get a big juicy Plague off. Doesn't look like it. Looks like the Defilers are kind of derping around. So Zerg might end up losing this 6 o'clock base. Yeah, Ask. Yeah, he's boosting every single one of these patches. Oh, hey, we got a Nexus up. Okay, so income just completely spiked here for our Protoss player. Income just went down for our Zerg player. You can see the bank from Zerg has been depleted. But does Rulebot have enough to actually come back in this game? Yeah, Night Dad has Plague. He's used it earlier. I think that was just an accident. That last engagement. I mean, there's a lot going on. This is scary. Protoss is just playing whack-a-mole now with this little force that he's got. Now we're still at 64 drones for a Zerg player, so still a lot of mining going on. But there's not much counterattacks or pressure on the Protoss player at this time. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Yeah, we may have been able to afford another Nexus if we didn't build 10 Dragoons. Ooh, Ultralisk! What? If we just start pumping Ultralisk, oh, I'm about this. I'm here for this. Come on, Night Dad, let's get it. You know a good unit? Ultralisks are a good unit. Yeah, we're at 60 drones, well, 58. It just keeps going down. Right now, all of this whole base is just getting completely annihilated. But the Ultralisks are going to be making work here. Okay, so when it comes to mining bases, Zerg has 2 mining bases. I think this one's mined out. Oh, this isn't even a base. Yeah, this one's mined out. So 2 mining bases to 1. We have this base down here, which is mining less efficiently than most. And then we've got this base over here, which is a little bit vulnerable. There are some lurkers here to defend. I just don't think Protoss has seen it. Oh, but here we go. Here's the attack to the 12 o'clock. Oh, and there's nothing there. There's 1 cannon and 1 zealot. We trauma-built cannons at all the other bases, but not the one that's mining. Oh my gosh, the cracklings are just going to completely destroy this. Honestly, just go for the probes. Like, if we just kill all these probes, there's nothing left. They're all here. Protoss counterattacking with a good amount of units. Ultralisk being dumb because Ultralisks are dumb. And Protoss is able to clean this up. But another attack. Zerg's not done. And I think at this point in the game, Zerg can just completely walk in. We're at +1 melee. We just need to send wave after wave. Ooh, big storms. And if you just send cracklings for days, you win. Now this base, there's really no reason to even attack it, honestly. This base is high priority and production is high priority. Oh my gosh, please don't tell me this DT is just going to run somewhere and kill an entire mineral line. I hope it doesn't happen. Okay, cracklings, Ultralisks. Was there a Defiler in there? No Defiler. Yet. DT, okay, DT does run under an Overlord. Oh, and it does die. I wasn't so sure it was going to die. Ooh, Battle Probe leading the way. Looking for an expansion opportunity, undoubtedly. I think it's time for us to tech up. I want carriers. I want arbiters. I want Guardians. Okay, so there is an expansion that went down here. All mineral base again, by the way. More Protoss funneling across the map. This, whatever o'clock this is, 8 o'clock, looking pretty rough right now. This is a lot of Archons, a lot of Zealots. Oh man, I don't know. I think Rulebot might be able to run through this. Might be a bad day for our Zerg buddy. By the way, this is just game 1. We have a whole series of this, guys. Oh no! Night Dad GG's. Ah! It's heartbreaking because I felt like Night Dad had that game, but that was an absolute banger. Let's go into the rest of the series. Rulebot's going to be able to take that first map, and we'll go ahead and we'll update the scores. So, Rulebot trying to bring back the build disorders here from that first map loss between Pop and Otto. Let's see what game number 2 brings us. Alright, game number 2 is going to be on Radeon. Let's get after it. Alright, Radeon 4-player map. Up here in the, well, hold on a second. Yeah, up here in the top right, we have our blue Protoss, Rulebot, who was basically mined out there that last game and was still able to make a huge comeback. And then Night Dad up here in the top left, our red Zerg. So last game we saw 5-hatch Hydra coming out from Night Dad. And then we also saw Forge expand coming from Rulebot. No Sares, Sareless Forge expand. Went heavily into cannons for an early defense. Went heavily into High Templar, but was a little behind on getting his storms out. So I think there was a lot of lessons learned in that last game that we'll have to see if they're implemented in this next one. Night Dad, I think, could have foregone using Defilers. They didn't really get much use. They didn't really do a whole lot. I think I saw one Plague the whole game, but a bunch of them just kind of died. So I think if he was going to go that Hive Tech again, maybe focusing on those Ultralisks a little bit more. But overall, I'm excited. I'm excited. Looks like we'll see a Forge Fast expand again. Doesn't send the probe to scout after the pylon. Likely do it after the Forge goes down. Ooh, Gateway. Spicy. Another Gateway. Okay, so we got 2 gate coming out here from Rulebot. Now these are going to be seen right off the bat by Night Dad. His Overlord going to the correct location for a first scout. Drone's going to be heading out here. See if they kiss. No, they don't. I always think when workers like collide during the initial scout portion, I always think of that meme with Mike Tyson with like the 2 pigeons, and he's like, now kith. That's because I'm stupid. Anyway, we have a hatchery going down here at the expansion. We have the spawning pool up here in the main. And the Overlord sees everything. So we'll see what this inspires from our Zerg hero. It looks like he's going to go into 6 Zerglings and likely just try to get the pressure on very early. I feel like that's probably the appropriate response, but I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to play a little bit more defensively here because the initial Zealot is already out. He might be able to corner this, though. Get a free Zealot for the low cost of like 1 or 2 Zerglings. But his buddy is following right behind. They're going straight to the G house. Third hatchery coming up here at the natural. Now last game we saw the hatchery and the Hydralisk Den kind of forming a wall at the natural. We'll see if he does that again. Ooh, nice little surround there on this Zealot. A good reaction time by Rulebot. Gets it back out to safety. Looks like he's going to be pulling back number 3 and number 4. Meanwhile, Thing 1, Thing 2 They are disregarded by the Zerglings. And this actually forced a lot of Zerglings from Night Dad. He's sitting at 8 Zerglings right now. Forge has gone up. And now we're going to start putting down cannons. So I think this is more than enough to prevent any Zerglings from running in. But I think Night Dad might still try. No, okay, he just dances with them a little bit and backs off. Okay, 2 cannons. That'll shut down most early game Zergling pressure. We have the 3rd hatchery almost completed. We are starting to mine some gas. And then up here in the Protoss base, we're just now getting an assimilator. So it looks like Rulebot is probably going to expand first, get the assimilator up and running, and then we'll probably see the cybernetics core. A lot of Zerglings here. We've got 12 here, 14. Looks like we're about to take a 3rd base for our Zerg player. Now this 3rd base is a little tough to defend. We'll see if Protoss can catch wind of it. But we didn't see a whole lot of scouting kind of early to the mid-game from Rulebot. He tends to like his attacks to do most of the scouting for him. And this we also didn't see much last game, with the Zealots kind of pushing the Zerglings away, getting some kills here and there, chipping away at this force. But he did just move out. Killed, what, 3 Zerglings? And there's the 3rd base for our Zerg player. Okay. Looks like Zealots and Zerglings are going to dance a little bit again. Oh, but it looks like he might actually be committing. Needs to be careful. Now, speed's not upgraded. These are still slowlings. And that was a good kind of pull back there by Rulebot. Don't want to overcommit. Don't want to allow the Zerglings to get in the base, because there's really nothing else here to defend. Right? We got the 2 cannons, but beyond that, there's really not a whole lot. Ooh, opportunity here to get 2 free Zealots. I'd say free. Only loses a couple of Zerglings. And without speed... Oh, he did get that one! You know, I've been watching a lot of, like, Korean casts and stuff. And one of the things I wish I could emulate is the excitement over little picks like that. You see, like, a single Zealot go down, and they're just like, whoa! Oh, Zealot! Oh! He got it! That's what I want to be when I grow up. A Korean caster. So it looks like we have 2 on gas up here. These Zealots slowly creeping their way across. There's no sunken colonies or anything yet. We are continuing with Zergling production. Now this might be an opportunity for our Protoss player to come over here and check out this 3rd and see what he can do about it. So the Zergling's staying at this intersection, and on this map, I always say, you know, like, this intersection is key terrain. This bridge later on can become pretty key as well. And then the opportunity for air behind these, you know, the 4 little sides are pretty big deals on this map. So anyway, he's doing a good job of holding this intersection. Yeah, we can go the John Madden route. Boom! Now here's a Zergling that when he's upgraded, he moves faster. Evo chamber, 2nd extractor. Okay, so we're going up to a 5th hatchery. A 5-hatch Hydra. But with a lot of lings, so not as many Hydralisks early on. Oh my goodness, we're getting Corsairs. We'll see if these Corsairs can get any damage done before the Hydralisks come out. We have 6 being morphed in right now, but there are a few Overlords just kind of scattered across the map that this Corsair may be able to run into, knock out of the sky, supply block, frustrate our Zerg player. A couple sunken colonies going down. We do have the Hydras back home. Oh, and this is a lot of Zealots. But there is one sunken and pretty decent Sim City, so if the Zerglings stay in this gap, then this sunken colony will just be able to go to town. Oh, but here he goes. Rulebot going to check the 3rd base. This isn't his first rodeo. And this base might be just dead. There's 2 Hydralisks here. Gosh, dang, Zealots are good. Again, in the next patch, there's discussions of nerfing them. Alright, so here comes the Hydralisk Zergling Force from back home. Gonna clean this up. He's reacting, he's moving his drones out of the way. Yeah, pretty good defense. Didn't take too much damage. He's still sitting at 33 to 34 drones. He kept this hatchery alive, which was a big deal. And the Zealots have been knocked out. Now, what I wasn't really paying attention to the mini-map because I'm blind, but this Corsair, I think, did go down and knocked out those straggling Overlords. Now, Night Dad's not supply blocked because for some reason I think he just has a gajillion Overlords. I mean, he's 63 of 102. Like, homie is not stopping producing Overlords. Now, this isn't going to be enough. I like that he's pulling back here, trying to engage these Zealots away from the cannons. Definitely needs to have them all in the fight shooting. And here we go. Mr. Cannon. So we've got 8 cannons at the front. And this is starting to look a lot more like a normal Hydralisk bust. Another hatchery. Brings our hatchery count to 7. Alright, we'll see when Night Dad pulls the trigger. Oh, I guess it looks like right now. You know, because we talk through time and space. And it looks like he's trying to target down these cannons. It's really not an effective arc that he has going, though. So kind of just bleeding out Hydralisks. It looks like they're derping really hard. I don't know if, like, maybe he, like, move commanded to, like, over here by accident. There's the second pylon. But yeah, this one definitely powering this. All of this stuff. It's okay, though, because no one ever targets pylons. Ever. There are going to be, like, 12 cannons surrounding one pylon, and players will always kill the cannons one at a time. I think it's just for the dopamine hit. Like, cannons just go down so much faster, you're just like, yeah, that felt right. Oh my gosh, this Corsair. Just tasing all of the Overlords. Oh, got a little too close to the Hydralisk. Oh, but it survives! So this would be a good Korean casting moment. Be like, oh! Oh, but he gets this Overlord! I need to learn Korean. I need to. It needs to happen. Oh my gosh, the DTs are now out. Just slicing and dicing, turning all these Hydralisks into freaking bug sushi. And the Overlord does die up here. Which brings our supply to 91 of 95. Getting closer to that supply block. DT is walking straight into some Overlords, but Hydralisk not enough to knock them out. So they're going to go scouting and being a pain in the butt in other places. Might even catch this 4th base that's being produced. Yeah, staged. We'll do a joint Korean English cast together. All right, this DT trying to get some kills. Does get 1, gets 2. And it had 6 kills before it died. Some of those being Hydralisks that were retreating from the Protoss base. Okay. So we haven't seen any like real significant pushes. The last thing we saw was an attempted Hydralisk bust. Meanwhile, for Protoss, you know, we've kind of teched up into a little bit more of the mid game, getting the High Templar. I haven't seen Stormby research, but probably is. Robotics facility going down. Meanwhile, for Zerg, getting Lurker Aspect, getting, what is this, +2? +2 ranged and +1 carapace. And also getting Overlord movement, which I'm really happy to see. Gonna need some faster Overlords if we're going to, damn it, Esk. You always clip the best moments. If we're going to be able to find these DTs without them getting schwacked by Corsairs. So he's going to lose this hatchery. And I want to point out, this DT parked itself here when it was being morphed and didn't commit until that hatchery was completed. So cute little move there by Rulebot. Overlord comes in. Right now it's basically just serving as bait for those Corsairs. Rulebot's sending a bunch of Zealots across the map. Gonna be able to clean up whatever this is. A few Hydralisks. See if this drone runs away. Nope, it just starts making a hatchery. Here we go. Yeah, hatchery's gonna die. Bummer. Bummer for our Zerg hero. Bunch of Hydralisks gonna come down here and support, knock out these Zealots. If they're still there, they might be trying to run away, but with the Hydralisk dead, here come the Corsairs. Okay, so meanwhile, Protoss has expanded to a third base. If we look at upgrades, we're at +2 melee. We're at +2 ranged. Still don't know if these guys have Storm. But again, I'm assuming they do. And no drone down here to reestablish this expansion. So right now we're on 3 bases to 3 bases. So not looking as good from an economy standpoint as we did last game for Night Dad. But Night Dad has been really good about taking time and spending a lot on drones. So he is at 59 to 40 workers, which is helpful. And here we go. Oh my goodness, look at all these lurkers. This is going to help drastically. Very zealot heavy force. I don't see any observers. That's right, the robotics facility only just recently got made. So these lurkers might actually pack a huge wallop. That's what we call the subterranean spines. We call that the walloping. More DTs heading out. See how far he goes. Might try to peek on over here again, but oh my gosh, it survived. So he's going to go down here to the bottom left, and he might catch another base. DTs, such a well-designed unit, you know? Everyone loves units you can't see that kill workers in one hit. Alright, we got a whole bunch of lurkers, but we're a little bunched up, and there's a storm! Luckily they weren't burrowed. They would have taken a lot more damage, but now they are. And they go down. Okay, so this is going to buy Protoss a lot of time. And I imagine we're going to start seeing some observer production, but honestly, with as many storms as he has, like how many High Templar we have right here? We got 8 High Templar here, many of which have 2 storms in the bank, just in the chamber, ready to fire off. And look at this. DT took care of this bottom left. It might rotate around, take out this one again. Keeping Zerg on 3 bases is definitely a feel-good for Protoss. Okay, so the lurkers going up here, and we saw this a little bit last game as well. So last game on Knockout at the 12 o'clock, Night Dad utilized his lurkers to contain the Protoss into the 3 bases that he was on. The difference being that Zerg had like 5 of their own bases. And now Night Dad's trying to be a little bit more aggressive with his expanding. He's going to be taking this 12 o'clock position for himself. I like that. Big storm here. Got Hydra mulch all over the place. God dang. These Hydras just need to bring some umbrellas out because this storming everywhere. He's also fighting a little bit away from his lurkers, which is a little unfortunate. Not sure that was an effective trade for our Zerg player, but Zerg still is up by supply. Okay, now we're starting to move in, getting the lurkers up and deep here. Look at these guys just running straight into the middle of the fray. They're just going to be starting shooting freaking spines everywhere. And this is doing a lot of damage to Protoss, but these storms, oh my gosh, doing such a good job of thinning out these Hydralisks. So many. Holy crap. Just blowing his load right there on top of all of them. Dude, the storms don't stop. Holy crap, he's just double storming everywhere. Everything's dead. Everything died. But Night Dad's got a huge bank. Rulebot, not so much. He's down on like 90 minerals. But the storms don't stop. Jeez Louise. They just don't stop. We've got the infinite storm hat going for Rulebot. But that's okay. Night Dad's just like, where there's one, there's two more to replace them, and just keeps sending the Hydralisk. Now these High Templar, they don't even look like they're losing energy. He didn't even have the amulet. I thought he did. He's now getting the amulet. And this kind of exercises the importance of maintaining pressure, right? Because if you let Protoss sit back for too long, they can bank up that energy. But if you're always attacking, if you're always skirmishing, if you're hitting in multiple places at once, or even if you're using like Mulisks or something to bait out those storms, you can keep this energy much, much lower. Alright, we have some lurkers morphing in here at the front lines. Disgusting. Protoss can do anything. But sitting at 3 upgrade for attack is definitely helping. Jeez Louise. Alright, so the attack is starting to lose steam here for Night Dad. Again, he still has a lot of minerals, but gas is starting to become a little bit of the issue. Looking over here, you know, this 4th base is getting up and running, but we're still not on gas there yet. The 12 o'clock has survived. I don't think it's been spotted by Protoss, and we are at that point where Night Dad is just continually just spend all the larvae on Hydralisk and just keep sending wave after wave after wave, and eventually Protoss won't be able to keep up. Now if we look here at the production for Protoss, we are at 10, 11 gateways mined out in the main. Look familiar? Rulebot is most dangerous when he has no money. That's what we learned from the last match. When Rulebot runs out of cash, he kills. So Rulebot's waiting to run out of cash. Meanwhile, Zerg, definitely not expanding as much as last time. We just ran out of money here at the 3rd base. Main's looking a little close to dry. Natural as well. So I think Night Dad right now is looking for the kill. Enormous. Enormous. Gargantuan. Huge. Big. These are all words that I've never had used to describe me, but for these storms, absolutely applicable. You're right, DT's still over here roaming the south side on patrol. An underutilized hotkey, in my opinion. Absolute bonkers. That's Queen's English for crazy. Okay, but it does look like Zerg is slowly pushing the Protoss army back. And now that we have this choke kind of all contained, so to speak, we can start... I was going to say we can whack-a-mole this base, but look at this! We've got 11 cannons here. That might be enough to hold back some Hydras. That's a lot of DPS. 11 cannons. But you know what counters cannons? Guardians. Just saying. Dude, like, Robot has no army. Goodness. Where is this DT? It's at 3 kills right now, 4 kills. Okay, so it was spotted. The drones are evacuating this base. But they don't have many great places to go. I guess they could head up to the 12 o'clock. Natural just mined out. Main just mined out. So the only mining base is 12 o'clock here for Night Dad. Now, meanwhile, for the Protoss, only mining base is here for Rulebot. And I don't think Night Dad's even seen that base. I'd really like for him to just send like one of these Hydralisks over there. Dude, this Hydralisk is just spitting on everything. Then, meanwhile, Baker's dozen Wait, no, is a Baker's dozen 13? This is a Mutilus dozen. Mutilus dozen of kills. We have Overlords back here. Okay. So as soon as Rulebot runs out of money, we're going to see some fireworks. Guaranteed. But meanwhile, looks like Zerg is starting to really take the upper hand here. 127 to 96 supply. Come on, I really want him to just peek over here. I genuinely don't think Night Dad is aware that this base has been snuck under his nose. Oh, DTs! Are they finally going to be shut down? Finally dies. And you see, Rulebot's doing that thing again. He did this when the third base was going down the first time. He showed up when it was morphing, and he waits for it to finish. He's not going to let Night Dad get away with canceling anything. No, no. He's here for the buildings. He wants those hatcheries dead, and he wants to do them himself. So that's what's going on down there in the bottom left. Ooh, we got some Lurker Spines knocking out a High Templar full free. This one doesn't even have enough energy. He's going to shuffle that one back. They're all waiting on energy. This guy, I think, has enough energy. What is it, 80? Might be more. Slowly creeping forward. Oh, no! I feel like you don't want to attack into this. Ooh, nice snipe on the High Templar, though. Baits out a Storm. Okay. That makes sense. And he's maintaining this contain. But again, what makes this contain so powerful is that it opens up the opportunity to attack here. Oh, here we go. Can you see it? No! Meanwhile, taking the 6 o'clock, this hatchery's up, so this DT will probably come in any moment now. Starting to rotate some workers. Oh no, he's going to rotate the workers down here to the bottom left, and then this DT is going to have a heyday. Meat is back on the menu, boys. Okay, here comes the Stormfront, walking right in, obliterating these lurkers. Now the Observer does get stormed to death, as all good observers do. And it looks like Protoss might be able to break out of this contain. He at least connects to his third base, which is huge at the moment because he's got all these probes not doing anything. So if you can at least transfer them over here, you can at least get some additional mining. Or he can sneak out onto the map and get some more expansions. But right now, the supply lead is continuing to grow for Night Dad. With Rulebot bleeding out units here. I wanted to see if this DT... Oh my gosh, it's at 15 kills now. I wonder if he's just like killing one and then just chilling. 17. Okay, I want to keep an eye on this guy. Because I think if you kill the drones in one hit, it doesn't notify you. It doesn't give you that nice little ping that says like, your units are under attack. Or I think what it says when you're playing Zerg is... That's what most of the units say. Obviously that was with a heavy American accent, but you get the point. This looks far again. You might need to work on hatchery placement. Okay. More fighting going on up here. Supply has rejuvenated a little bit for our Protoss player. Enormous, gigantic, huge, monumental storms going off. But this time, we've ran out of storms. So the Hydralisks are just shredding these goons. Goon juice dripping all over the panels here on Radeon. That was huge. 126 to 67. That's gotta feel good if you're Zerg. Templars are the MVP. Templars are dumb. They're stupid. Now, an Overlord just flew over this DT. I don't know if Night Dad's paying attention down here. He's got a lot to focus on up here. He's also got a lot of macroing to work on. Yeah, we're still on Rulebot. Turns out when Rulebot recommended a series to watch that it was at least an hour long. But Rulebot's also starving. We're only on this one mining base. Night Dad is taking over the whole map. What? What? Oh my gosh. No. Night Dad. Oh man, that's the second game like that we've seen today. That was that. Oh, I can't deny I've been there. I've been there. I've left a game out of just being annoyed. Or maybe he had somewhere to be and didn't realize that the series was going to take a full week to complete. But Night Dad firmly had this game. That was his to win. Overall, great series. A lot of fun. GG's to both players. And with that, that is going to give Rulebot the 2-0 victory over Night Dad, and it's going to bring us to our last series of today, and that's going to be a ZVT between Swoops and Whirlwind. We'll have to see who comes out on top in this cast's Build Disorders versus Big Naturals. Right now, they're both even, 1-1. All right, let's go ahead and open up Swoops versus Whirlwind. ZVT, we're going to be starting on Knockout. Let me get this whole score sheet. Man, I feel so bad. Night Dad, like, had that game. But definitely a fun series to watch. Thank you for the recommendation, Rulebot. All right, and we are on Knockout. Excellent. Let me actually show you the game. You guys might be interested in watching that instead of staring at my mug. All right, here we are. On Knockout, 4-player map. Up here in the top left, we have our red Zerg Swoops representing the Build Disorders. And up here in the top right, we've got our blue Terran Summit Wind, also known as Whirlwind. That's how he's going to show up on the score sheet, playing for the Big Naturals, known for their wonderful personality. Whew. What a day to be alive. What a great day to be watching some StarCraft. Hopefully everyone's New Year's been starting off okay. And hopefully this makes it just a little bit better. Only thing that would make today a little bit better for me would be currywurst for lunch. You ever get like a craving for random food? Right now it's currywurst for me. That would really hit the spot right now. Anyway, it looks like we're going into at least an overpool. May go into a hatchery first. Might be going into a 12 pool. Might just make drones for the next 10 minutes. Who knows? Okay, it does look like we're going into a 12 hatch. We're walling off here in the natural for Whirlwind. And we're also building a refinery really early, so we'll have to see if Whirlwind is a mech player, or if maybe he's going for kind of an early... I don't know if you'd get a refinery this early for that, but maybe like an early +1 build if you're going to drop an eBay real soon. But this gives me the thoughts he's going to go for like a Goliath build. Spawning pool is down, extractor is being morphed in. I'm still thinking about Night Dad. Alright, drone's going to come in here, does get the scout, sees the wall. He's going to come in, he's also going to see the refinery and the gas. So we'll see how he decides to fight up against this. We do have the initial factory going down, likely going to go into some early vultures. Maybe get like 3 of them, move out. Start trying to plink away at some of these drones. Be a nuisance down here at the natural. Swoops might decide to make an early sunken, probably somewhere up in here, to prevent that vulture run by. We shall see. Going straight into lair. Gonna go Mutalisks. Meanwhile, we've got the SCV plug in this hole, and we haven't seen Whirlwind. Oh yeah, we do. I was gonna say I don't remember seeing his scout go out, but already in here. M&M blood soup. Alright, so expansion being thrown down. Initial vulture underway. Still mining gas. We'll see if he goes armory or eBay first. Or if he goes to second factory first. Yeah, generally it'd be second factory, and then you decide on whether you want your eBay or your armory. After the third vulture, generally go machine shop. But if you go armory first, you're generally able to pump out a couple more Goliaths at the risk of having your turrets come out a little bit later. Okay, so there's that early sunken I was talking about, and he's going to be using his spire to actually wall off the ramp to the main. So right here is going to create that wall. And honestly, this is good SimCity. Like, the sunken's going to be able to spike any vultures that come in here. There might be a spot back here, kind of behind the score thing, where a vulture can kind of sit and chill. But a little bit tougher to navigate. Expansion's up, SCVs are transferring, we've got 2 factories, we've got the armory going down. We'll see if he goes straight into Charon boosters. You might need the armory first for that. I'm a Terran player. I totally know. Inspire's about 2/3 of the way done. So now we have the eBay going down. Yeah, so this is just going to be a standard Goliath opening, which can be tough if Swoops really hard commits into Mutalisks. Like a full commit into Mutalisks, or even like the mix-in of Lurkers, can really kind of just throw you off. But we'll have to see how Swoops' Mutalisk micro is as well. Homegrown infested CC casserole. I feel like there's a lot of anti-Terran bias going on here. What's up with that? I thought Terran was the race that everyone loved, was the honorable race. That's what Beat told me. Alright, so initial turret going down here, second one in the main. No turrets in the natural yet. Oh no, it does look like one is coming up. Yeah, that's true. Maybe chat just doesn't have honor. Could be. I don't know if we really saw Zerg lose. Again. My heart goes out to Night Dad. Alright, so Mutalisks are out. The Vulture's going to see it. So we're going to lose our opportunity for any type of Vulture run by. Also, I want to point out, where are the other Vultures? Did I miss an engagement that occurred? Pretty sure he built multiple. He might have canceled his second one in order to speed up his second factory and get the machine shop up. Alright, here we go. 5 Mutalisks coming in. We gotta be careful with these Goliaths. We wanna try our best to conserve them, like not have any go down unnecessarily. Now the wall here is a little bit vulnerable. This supply depot almost at half health already. Goliaths can help here with the defense. And the Mutas are going to head home. So we're getting +1 air weapons, we're getting a third hatchery, getting a Hydralisk Den, and expanding here for Swoop. So all the things that feel really good for Zerg. What's going to happen is here in about a minute or so, +1 weapons is going to finish. And normally Terran will go +1 armor when doing a Goliath build. Makes them much more survivable to the freaking Mutas. So we'll see how this goes. Generally, that's the trigger to move out. You usually have between like 10 or 12 Goliaths. You move out and maybe try to spank the natural around a little bit, or at least get some damage on Mutalisk, maybe hit the third. So we'll see. We'll see. But he's going to third. 7-minute, or I guess 8-minute third base for Terran. Absolutely wild. Not a whole lot of pressure from the Mutalisk. These Mutalisks could delay this quite a bit. Instead, going to run in here and face a whole ton of Goliaths. Okay, so they are going to head north. They're going to see this expansion. They're going to kill this SCV, who is just like, bruh, why'd you send me here? Okay, so it does look like Whirlwind's going to get a little punish here for trying to go for this greedy CC. Oh, but he doesn't kill it. He doesn't kill it. 2 Mutalisks go down to 4. Is he going to be able to get a SCV up here to finish this off? This is wild. Meanwhile, third base getting saturated. We're at 5 hatcheries. We're getting Hydralisk speed. I can't believe this didn't die. Holy crap. Whirlwind's just going to get this third base up for nothing. Whirlwind also has a ton of money. He's going up to 4 factories. Also getting his science facility. Second armory. He's going to go mass upgrades. Get science vessels out. Doesn't look like he's transitioned into like tank production. Generally what you'll see happen is you'll go to like 3 factories. You'll get your Goliaths pumping out like crazy. And then you'll start slapping down the machine shops, going into like a 5-fact follow-up. But the thing is, he never did that first push. The first push that normally happens around 8 minutes, instead of pushing, he went for an expansion. Ooh, Vulture sneaking in right here at the third. This might attract the attention of the Zerg force. We'll see what Swoops does. Does look like he's going to send some Hydralisks down. I don't know if he still has Mutalisks on the map. He does. He has them defending this 4th base. Oh, look at these battle drones going to town on this Vulture. They do knock it out. Hydralisk, not needed. Drones have got this. Okay, so we do have a few tanks now. And if we look up here at the production tab, we have science vessels, we got more tanks, we got +2 weapons, we got a radiate +1 armor. Really powering up here for Terran, really looking to get that kind of 5-factory timing attack, that 1-1 attack, as potent as possible. We'll see if he moves out at that timing. Looks like he might be organizing his units now. Oh no, just as he pulls off the high ground, the Hydralisks swoop up. And I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of damage done here. Might kill a couple SCPs. But ultimately just going to keep this Terran force at home. Going to be delaying. It also tells Swoops, okay, there's tanks out on the field. This is a full-on mech build we're dealing with. Good mine placements here from Whirlwind, catching a few of those unlucky Hydralisks. And look at this. Look at this big wraparound. We've got this swirl going. We've got these Hydralisks going up here to the top left. We've got these Hydralisks heading out to the top right. Swoops is a lot of fun to say. We've got Mutalisks diving into their death, getting irradiated and Goliathed. Oh man, they didn't stand a chance. That was a opening up supply move. That's what that was. So a whole bunch of mines here. Oh no, getting a little close to the mines, does back up after killing a couple vultures. And so now, you know, our Zerg is on 4 bases, but the fact Terran was able to secure this third, I think puts Whirlwind in a pretty decent lead right now. Whirlwind also sitting with a pretty healthy supply. Has a nice unit composition. He's getting energy up for additional radiates on these science vessels, so if there is a transition to Lurker with all these Hydralisks, he will have those available. He's at 6 factories. He's only going 1 starport. I think is fine. Getting a lot of vultures. A lot of vulture tank. Which is very powerful for knocking out those bases. There hasn't been a whole lot of additional Mutalisk production, so the Goliath's not really overly needed. And we're getting a 4th base here for Terran. Holy crap. Oh no, the Hydralisk kind of coming in, a little disjointed. Do take down 1 Goliath. The Vulture swooping in. And killing Swoop's Hydralisks. Now, 4th base is saturated, not using the gas as of yet. We are mining gas on at least 3 bases right now. Swoops trying to get a healthy trade here towards the middle of the map. The mine's trying to be laid, not getting a ton of damage done. 1 lucky mine though. Boom! Holy crap, holy. Oh no, we got spider mines. Oh my gosh, it's like the Terran Storm. Mines. The Terran Storm. Mines. Protoss's best unit. think I heard Ozzy say that yesterday during the BSL finals, and I was just like, yeah, that feels about right. Yeah, I see that in chat. Whirlwind sitting here with a huge bank. Not terribly uncommon, for some reason, going these mech builds to just have a ton of minerals, especially when you get this third base up. That's just all minerals. A lot of mines being placed here, just splattering Hydralisks all over the place. This base, I don't think stands a chance unless these reinforcements from Zerg pull some heavy weight. He's closing the distance with these tanks. They're not long for this world. Both tanks go down. Now we do have some drones being banged up. But the Hydralisks do look like they're going to be able to come in here and clean up this army. Now this is one of those moments as Terran that's a little worrisome. Because you just lost a lot of Goliaths, you just lost a lot of tanks, all of which take a long time to reconstitute. Keeping that tank count low is really powerful for our Zerg player. And you can see here, right, like no additional tank production. There's not much of an army. I think this is the only army that exists for Whirlwind. If Swoops were to take his army and just start hitting the 12 o'clock or any of the bases really, I think he'd be feeling pretty good. I think that would be the case. That's my thought. Sticking with it. Getting a shit ton more hatcheries. We're going up to 5 hatcheries here in the main. We got another 2. That's 7, 8. We're at 10 hatcheries. Okay, so Hydralisk starting to spread out across the map, looking for additional bases, looking for targets of opportunity. Found one in a tank. Is he going to be able to kill it? Oh, mine! Here come the vultures. Protect their tanks. Oh my gosh, these mines. Oh, good lord. You know, this entire stream has felt really bad for the Hydralisks. Feels very anti-Hydralisk based. Look at this, we got a couple Hydras burrowed here. Trying to keep an eye on when the Terran decides to expand for their 5th. Meanwhile, let's look at upgrades. We're at 2-1. We're going up to 3-2 right now for Terran. For Zerg, we're at 2-1 for Hydralisk. And Hydralisk production seems to be the name of the game. We've got 14-15 in the build queue right now. And look at all these hatcheries. And that bank. He can produce Hydralisks forever. Especially if he starts getting some of this gas. It's a good question to ask. Do Hydralisks have little feet? Or is it spikes/horn? I don't know. I always thought they had kind of just like a snake tail with spikes. Maybe it's more like a caterpillar. Or a centipede. When does it become a tail though? Like if we're talking like a snake, like oh my gosh. Those mines! Ah, the Hydralisk. It yearns for the mines. Well, it just got what they asked for. Holy crap. Dude, the mines. There's no anti-air. Like, I kind of wish Swoops would just bring some Overlords. Or even mix in some Zerglings. You see that a lot in, like, StarCraft 2. Against like Widow Mines, you know, like just send, or like even Stasis or whatever, just send like a few Zerglings ahead just to eat all those. Especially since, oh my gosh, these mines, holy crap, this base is screwed. 8 o'clock going down 100%. That's gonna knock Zerg back down to 3 bases. Terran's gonna have a base lead over Zerg. We're mashing that H key. Swoop's keyboard is just like 1 SH, 2 SH, 3 SH. Fighting into a bunch of tanks here. Getting a good amount of work done. But unfortunately, like this just isn't a tenable position to attack with pure Hydra. You know what would actually be good right now is just a bunch of Mutalisks. Okay, a little bit of a counterattack going up here to the 12. Hopefully we'll do a decent job at splitting the Terran army. One of the things that's really tough for Terran is fighting on multiple fronts. You need that critical mass of just all your stuff bunched together, all your siege tanks supporting, you know, a bulk of vultures that can just serve as cannon fodder. But when you just have onesie twosie units like this kind of scattered throughout, a Zerg player can definitely kind of separate you, isolate you, and defeat you in detail. And he gets it! I was wondering if there was... I guess there wasn't enough energy for a D matrix, and the SCVs were a little too late on the repair. So this counterattack up to the 12 o'clock might actually knock it out. That would put Terran back on 3 bases, which would be good, but Zerg definitely needs more. I kind of wish Zerg would take this at least, but also... never mind, I was looking at the wrong money tab. Whirlwind just has too much money. He doesn't know what to do with it. Now these tanks aren't sieging, which is giving the Hydralisk a lot of opportunity here to just mow through. And they are. They're killing these tanks one at a time. Just target firing them down. This is clearly where Swoop's attention is at the moment. And honestly, doing a lot of work. Oh god, fine. Whew. I feel like we can make like a parody commercial. Like, you remember the Slap Chop guy? I feel like there's like a Hydralisk Mine commercial just waiting to be made. Yeah, you're right, Esk. One Hydralisk survived to tell the others. Go back and tell them Mines did this. Look at these Hydralisks being cheeky, hiding up here by the mineral line. So I like that we have Overlords with the army now. Hey, oh my gosh, the fighting is just happening everywhere. Couple vultures getting up here, gonna start knocking down these drones. The Sunken just a little out of position, cannot get back there to hit these. Gonna need to move a few of these Hydralisks up. Not sure if evacuating all the drones was completely necessary. That's gonna cut off mining pretty significantly. And holy crap, look at this minefield. Slap chop. Mine boom. I don't know. There'd have to be a phrase, but I feel like that's what's happening right now. Oh no, the dreaded siege sound. Meanwhile, we're still just producing pure Hydralisk. We're at 2-1 upgrades, going up to 3-1. We're at 3-2 for the Terran. These tanks packing a punch. 85 damage a pop. Look at this. Hydralisk is 80. One-shotting Hydralisk with a siege tank right now. Maybe. Because of the splash or whatever damage type, maybe not, but very close. Boom, slap chop. Alright. Oh my god! Using a mine to clear out the burrowed Hydralisk over here. Not sure if brilliant or an accident. Considering the missile turret and the science vessel were on their way. It might have been an unnecessary loss of an SCV. Now this is going to trigger Zerg to counterattack over here, realizing, okay, my Hydralisk went down. He's trying to expand. Let's keep him contained. Meanwhile, over here at the 9 o'clock, Zerg base not looking too healthy at the moment. Drones just getting annihilated. Yeah, it's a happy little accident. We don't make mistakes. We make happy little accidents. But Zerg's broke, right? Main is hurting. There's, what, 7 drones mining here. What do we got here? Maybe 13, 14. So trying to expand down here in the bottom left. Look at this mini-map, too. It's like tie-dye with all the units everywhere. Absolute chaos incarnate in this match. And both players not backing down. Now, Whirlwind still with this enormous bank. He's sitting on 10 factories. Still can't spend it all. Almost maxed out. Zerg is sitting at 43 supply. I think this might be Terran's game. And you know who we have to thank? The humble spider mine. GG's. That was a banger. Oof. That match was a blast. Now, I want to see... Okay, so we're going to go into game number 2. And what I really want to see is if Swoops changes tech. This might have been a plan from the beginning, right? Like, hey, game 1, I'm going to go in there, and I'm just gonna make Hydralisks. Like that's the plan. Game 2, I'm gonna go in there and we're gonna bring out the whole freaking cookbook. We're gonna go to Filer, Ultralisk, we're gonna go crazy Zerg. But let's find out. Let's head to Radeon together. For the last time today. I don't remember what the third map name is. I guess we haven't seen the third map yet, huh? We've had two zeros so far today. Anyway, down here in the bottom left, representing the big naturals, is Whirlwind. Up here in the top left, representing the build disorders, is Swoops. There it is. Yeah, there were so many mines in that last game. I feel like we don't see that many mines in TVZ. Maybe that's just, I don't know. Maybe at the higher levels or something, it's a little bit easier to navigate. Looks like I'm going to be trying to wall off here again. We saw this last time from Whirlwinds. Swoops going Overlord first. Last time he did a hatchery first build. And then when he came in, he scouted and he saw that he was going against Mech. I think that might have been what maybe confused Swoops a little bit. Because when you see that many tanks, at least when I'm playing against Zerg, what I'll see a lot of is a lot of Mutalisks through the early and mid game. But then the late game, like queens, right? Getting a bunch of queens and just broodling all my tanks is really efficient. So it looks like we're going to see a hatchery first again. Nice little 12 hatch action. Going into a barracks to see if that refinery, yep. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's like more mech play. Well, let's see if this time Whirlwind sends some vultures early. Tries to get some drone damage. I think that would be fun. Oh, now Kith. I like it because I'm stupid. Alright, SCV comes up here, sees the expansion, says, I'm not going all the way. F that noise. Spawning pool going down, extractor going down. SCV changing his mind. And the reason why I think he might have done that was sometimes you'll have Zerglings up here at the top of the ramp, and he may have felt like his SCV kind of glitched out a little bit and it was blocked, so if you run away, maybe the Zerglings will come follow you, then you can go back in. That's how I'm justifying that move. Drone comes in. I didn't see what it saw. It looks like it did see the refinery. Not sure if it saw the factory going down, but probably expecting a mech play again. And really what I feel like Swoops needs to do is last game he went into making a bunch of Zerglings, trying to move across the map. Didn't really get anything from them. He ran into the wall, but he only made like 6 Mutalisks and didn't really harass with them. I think if Swoops can get much more Mutalisk play, then he'll be feeling a lot better against this mech build. Okay, we do have an early creep colony. We'll see if he tries to wall it off with the Spire again. Also, this creep colony, not as advantageously placed as last time. I feel like there's a lot of room behind this mineral line where, like, if a vulture does sneak in, it's very easy for it to sneak back here and completely deny your mining. First vulture is out, by the way. And I think also what really put Whirlwind ahead last game was that third base that went unpunished. He just threw it out there at 8 minutes, which is really fast, especially in a TVZ where getting a third base is oftentimes like a significant emotional event. Okay, here comes the vulture. Let's see if you can sneak it behind that mineral line. Come on, get on in there, you. Don't worry about the main. Oh, but he blocked it! Oh no! There was definitely an opportunity there, but instead of putting the Spire here, he used his Zerglings to block the ramp and slapped the Spire over there to block the mineral line. Very cool idea, and it really worked out for him in that moment. A third hatchery going down at the natural. We do have the layer up. The Spire on the way, a little over halfway complete. We're getting our third factory for our Terran hero, and we're getting our armory just like last time. Man, I hope y'all are having fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I haven't casted CPL in a hot minute. Which reminds me, I totally screwed up. I've got the wrong freaking picture. No one even mentioned I had the wrong picture. Hold on. Dang it. Waited all the way until the very last game to realize I had the wrong picture. Hold on. There we go. That's the right picture. Dang it, guys. Left me hanging. This is CPL. No, I've just been casting a lot of SKU recently. I thought I stripped it and made it all CPLized, but I guess not. It's probably like that on the other one too. Gosh dang it, I'm sorry, Dada. Dada's in here, he lets me cast. I screw it all up. It's not a scam, Esk. Quit saying it's a scam. Alright, we got the Mutalisks out. We got our 5 flying around. We're also taking a third base as Zerg. Now, we've only got a couple Goliaths out right now. Where are our turret placements? We've got 2 here at the natural. We've got 2 here in the main. Nothing up here by the factories. Generally okay, because you have the Goliaths popping out there. But I really want to see additional pressure from these mutas. If you can just keep pressuring, keep whittling down the turrets, keep those Goliaths running back and forth. Try to get some workers here and there. It just makes life so miserable for a Terran. Alright, so bouncing in. Gonna fly right over these Goliaths, though. In last game, that was about the extent that we saw. So we'll see if the Mutalisks come back, if they try to poke into the natural. Vulture up here at the 12 o'clock, finding the base that's going down there. Esk, I'm not sending you pictures of my fins. For anything less than $10. Alright, going up to 4 or 5 factories. So we're skipping that kind of 8-minute push again. And we're also going into +1 weapons instead of armor. So that's like the big difference we're seeing here from Morwin's approach to the Goliath mech build that we see a lot of other players make. And we're going to the single starport again. Last time he went to Science Facility, second armory, started getting mass upgrades. We're seeing that again here. Getting the control tower so that he's ready to start pumping out those science vessels. We're getting siege. We don't have mines. Even after last game's wild success with mines, we have not gone mines yet. Opting to get siege and maybe try to go for an early break. Okay, so the mutas are coming back. Gotta kill this SCV. This is good. This is really good because that was the difference between this game and last game. Last game, Whirlwind got that third base up and just had such a commanding economy. Killing that SCV is going to delay that third base. And likely, you know, I don't know. It almost looks like this is one of those SCVs that you send into a black mini-map and then it just like derps out because you accidentally hit like this gap or something. We'll see if he sends another one. Okay, +1 is complete. Speed is on the way for vultures. We're starting to get tanks. Got a single tank being made right now. See if he starts upgrading mines. But I imagine like Terran is going to want to move out here real soon. But I also like that Swoops is maintaining this Mutalisk production and he keeps knocking out these SCVs that are trying to get out there and get that third expansion. This is huge. This is exactly, you know, this is closer to what he should have been doing last game. Alright, so Goliath range is up and running. It's going to scare the mutas away for right now. When fighting Goliaths like that, you need that critical mass. You need just a, I think the term is metric F-ton of Mutalisks. But then they do really well. And we've started Hydralisk production. But this time we're also getting Overlord speed early. In this way, hopefully, he can mitigate Hydralisk dying and popping the mines all over the map. But no mines researched. We are getting Irradiate. It's almost complete. First Science Vessel has popped out. Mutalisk coming in for a little bit more action. Kills one Vulture. Not really the trade you're looking for. Almost loses a third Mutalisk. Here we go. Getting ourselves a little bit of a push here from the Terran. Looks like he may be targeting down this third base. Looks like he's got this clearly in his sights. We'll see if Swoops can wrap around here and trap this army up here with these Sunkens. Again, mines aren't completed. So these Hydralisks can actually just kind of run right up in here. Ooh, might be able to get a free pick on this Science Vessel. It is going to fly up there. The first Sunken has gone down. Second one dies as well. Siege Tank sieges up just in time. Can he target it down? It does die. An Irradiate on a Hydralisk is actually doing a ton of damage right now. But the Hydras are going to be enough. Joe McGinn, thanks for the follow, man. Oh my gosh, this Marine left standing. 5 kills. Can it go to 6? 6 kills. Oh, such a feel bad. Such a feel bad moment. Alright, he notices. He's going to pull the drones. Send some Hydras. Get all that fixed. Eight kills. On the lone Marine. Oh! That sucks. 38 to 44 workers. And here we go. Now the mines have started to get laid. Alright, Overlord parked over here at the 6 o'clock position. Now, Whirlwind sees this Overlord. He should know there's going to be a retaliation. Let's see if he cancels. It does look like he got the cancel off. A whole bunch of Vultures are responding to this Hydralisk force. And so, we're at 3 bases for Zerg to the 2 bases of Terran. Terran's sitting at +1 upgrades. We have +1 army just now finishing up here soon. +1 for our Zerg, +2, +1. 2-1 about done for our Zerg player. Now we gotta be careful with these Hydralisks. Now we're bleeding a good amount to these siege tanks. But I feel like we're doing a lot better than last game as Zerg from avoiding all these mines. Huge minefield over here. Huge minefield right here. We've got the Overlord speed, but we're still not... Oh, no, it does look like we're keeping some with the armies. Excellent. Excellent. This is called learning. Man, I've heard about it. I've read about learning. I've never done it myself. We're not going to nominate Escalade for mod. And Escalade is probably the biggest supporter of the channel. He's given us like 2 Prime subs. And he's even casted in a shark hat. He is the #1 nerd here. As of right now, close second is probably Manadog or Dada. Hydralisks. Good counter to Hydralisk is mines and siege tanks. So we're still going into mass Hydralisk. Ooh, but what I like is we're getting a hive. Getting a hive. We've got a queen's nest. Ooh. Third base here for Zerg. Under siege. Whole bunch of Hydralisks coming in, eating all these mines straight to the face. Oh no. Now all the mines have been cleared up. I have no mods. I just utilize the auto mod. Yeah, no one ever said I knew what I was doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just like StarCraft. I want to share with y'all. Anyway, sorry. This chat has got me really engaged. This third base looks like it's going to finally tie, but Zerg has expanded to a fourth and a fifth. When it comes to hatchery count, if we count this third one, we're at 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we have the hive tech. I want to see what he ends up doing with it. Cracklings, always fun. Defilers, cheat code. Ultralisks, oh! I feel like that meme from the WWE guy. That's just like starts with like, whoa, oh, ah. With Ultralisk being the final aw. Ugh. The third base dies. Still got Mutalisks out here. Keeping an eye on this base. Third base being attempted again from Whirlwind. And Whirlwind's in a position again where I'd like to see him just slap down more production. Looks like he is doing that. Going up to 7 factories. He's got a lot of money. Yes, Vint. I am the chaddest of chads. Alright, Hydralisk running through here. Siege tank sieging. Oh no! But there's not a whole bunch of mines, which has been Swoop's weakness. So Terran's out there. If you ever play Swoops, mines. No, Terran doesn't just sit there. I will say, Whirlwind does not just sit. But he poops out mines like his vultures, I don't know, have mine diarrhea or something. Like, they're just everywhere. Which makes it tough to cast, because I'm like, oh, what's the army over here? Oh, never mind, it's just mines. Oh, mines. Oh, wait, nope. More mines. Oh, yeah, mines. So right now, the 12 o'clock has been knocked out. We do have the hive tech. Something that would probably be decent with this disconnect is maybe a Nidus. But I really want to see some increased tech here from Swoops. One of the things that we kind of talked about after that last game was pure Hydralisk just isn't going to be enough against this composition. I like that he threw in some Mutalisks, because there's not a dang thing out here that shoots up. Nada. Nothing. Zip. Zilch. And if you force him to go back into Goliath, well, that's a whole lot less mines you got to worry about. Or potentially less tanks. And here are some Goliaths. Knocking out some Overlords. That is going to effectively supply block our Zerg player. And here come the Mutas! Kill the Goliaths, my man. Kill them. There's only a couple of them. Now, one of the things he needs to really worry about that does exist as a problem for the mass Muta is science vessels. Oh, a couple good irradiates here without proper splitting can just wreak havoc, but Swoops, the Mutalisks have come in and there was a firefight! Oh shit, here comes irradiate. No, get it out of there! Get it! Move it! Move it! Send it away! He's trying. There we go. Got there. I love it. I love it. And now he's going to be able to clear all these mines, which will make casting so much easier, which is why he does it. 12 o'clock being retaken. More mutas being produced. I mean, you can look up here in the production tab, right? So just no extra Goliaths. He's got a handful. This is a good amount. But mass mutas against this is pretty dang effective. Bring in Overlords again. Again. This is what we call learning. It makes me so happy. Swoops is in such a good spot. He's going to come in here. He is set up to take out this 6 o'clock position. The response from the Terran is a mass move out of all of his units. This might open up a counterattack opportunity down here into the natural. Sorry for the wild clicking. I'm just so excited. How many mutas do we have left? We are losing a lot. We're down to 4. To check this wall out. The Goliaths stuck behind the wall. Oh no! No, 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 no. Don't go towards the Goliaths. Oh no! He lost all the mutas. That's okay. It happens. Besides, there might be a follow-up opportunity. That wall isn't going anywhere. Most walls don't move. Now, Swoops is up in supply. We're about to have a Vulture run by up here to the top right. Hasn't been harassed much. There hasn't been many reasons to build a bunch of defense up here. Luckily, some Hydralisks are popping. We have the Sunken Colonies. Now, he's losing some drones, but if you look up here, 65 to 36 workers, he's doing just fine. He's going to be able to reconstitute this, no problem, and those Vultures effectively didn't really do a whole lot. It did, well, I guess I should say it pulled a lot of Hydralisks up there. But I don't think that's going to be capitalized on at the moment. Now, right now, we are continuing with Science Vessel production. We are at 2-1, going up to 2-2. And we're starting to build a lot more Vultures. Meanwhile, for our Zerg counterpart, he has lost some of his supply, 136 to 129. Proper response, 6 Overlords. We got 6 Overlords coming. That should put an end to that. So right now we are having a banger of a second game. A little bit of engagement here in the middle of the map. Not much army for Swoops. Now he's got a bunch of supply. I just don't know where it's at. He's got a bunch of Mutalisks in reserve. Got some Hydralisks. Okay, so I guess he does have a pretty significant Hydralisk force, both here in the top right and outside his natural. And I'd kind of like for the Hydralisk to just wipe out these Goliaths and then transition back into Mutalisks. Oh, and look at this. He's got 9 Mutas in production. Now pull these back for a second. Just let the Hydralisk do their work. So the Mutas are going to go down here along with another Overlord and the Hydralisk. Not the most effective trade for our Zerg buddy, but he is taking these Hydralisks. He's heading down south. Again, I think the proper tool for this job would be Mutalisks. But again, either way, he's splitting the Terran's attention, he's splitting the Terran's army, and now we're getting this moment where Terran has straggling units kind of all over the map. And this is really tough for Terran to deal with. Okay, no Overlords with this. The mines are doing a pretty good job. Science Vessel needs to get out of the way. One Hydralisk eating about 3 or 4 mines. Oh, and the Hydralisks are here at the 6 o'clock. Now, there's no additional mining at the natural or the main base for Terran. If he wipes this out, Terran's next hope is over here at the Triangle 3rd, and that's not up and running yet. So right now, you can see the SCV supply just dropping so fast. We're down to 21. The Terran army is up here trying to get these Hydralisks out of his base. And eventually he will do so, but he has effectively shut down income for Terran. And knocked him down to 20 freaking SCVs. Right now, this is Swoop's game. But if we've learned anything from the series today, we know that a GG can come out of nowhere at any time. Hydralisk clearing mines with their face. Finally closing the distance, getting on top of this tank, and he is attacking straight into this 3rd base. I guess it's not really a 3rd base, the Triangle 3rd location. He might be able to get even more SCVs. See if he starts targeting them down. Nah, looks like the Hydralisks are kind of derping around, but what he did do is he cleared all these mines. Zerg taking the bottom right. That's going to give him 3 main bases to mine from. Further expanding his economic advantage. Meanwhile, we've got 2 more hatcheries going down. What are we at? We're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Soon to be 13 hatcheries worth of production, and it does look like we are starting to mix in some Zerglings. Now, I think this is partly because Swoops is hurting on gas a little bit. He's been producing nothing but Hydralisks and Mutalisks for the vast majority of this game. Not to mention with upgrades, he's been staying on top of those too. We're sitting at 3-2, while Terran is sitting at 2-2. Now, Terran is about to go up to 3-3. Not sure what these Overlords are doing. Alright, Zerg slowly soaking up the map. If only these overlords were like right there. Oh my gosh, these Mutilas kind of threading the needle here, hanging out over this dead space. Could easily, I think, come in here and knock out this Goliath. It's already injured. We have more Mutilas coming in. We're making a big push down here for the, whatever you call this. We'll call it the Triangle Third. I guess 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock position. Now, getting a mass repair here. Whirlwind on top of that. Kudos to him for getting more than, like, 1 SCV to repair. Look at this. Completely shutting that down. And to radiate. Amazing defense by Whirlwind. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you defend against Mutalisk attack with nothing but vultures. Repair the shit out of your one turret. I think he had like 5 SCVs repairing that thing. Alright, these vultures getting very efficient trades here on these Hydralisks. Oh, that mine peeking out. Thinking about it. Okay, so now we're at the point for Zerg where he's able to kind of ping-pong back between attacking to the left, attacking to the right. And this is what all Terrans hate, because the Terran army, like, though strong, though efficient, is the least mobile, right? And getting him back and forth between these bases, having those split attentions is so tough unless you have a hard point established at each of them with a few siege tanks, turrets, wall, whatever it may be. But you can't just run back and forth. It never works out. And ultimately, the 6 o'clock position will go down. And this Whirlwind supply down to 54, and there's the GG. We're going into a game 3, ladies and gentlemen. And God dang, I am just having so much fun. I didn't even upgrade or update the score sheet last time. And look at this. You know, this is probably like the last time you'll see the screen, but I need to change the picture on this one too. And you know what? No one told me, and I blame all y'all. Why does that look so derpy? Underp yourself. There we go. Because this is CPL, not StarCraft Underground. Alright, so we are at 1-1. We're going into the last game of the day. The first cast of the year. We're going to be going to Polestar. Seeing the final face-off. Determining which between these teams, the Build Disorders or the Big Naturals, comes out of this stream ahead. Right now, 1-1. Coming down to the wire, the very last possible game. Let's get after it. I lost my scoreboard. Where's my scoreboard? Alright, 1-1. Polestar. Excellent. No, Crimson Joe, I was not meaning to. I try to rebrand in between things, but whoops. Up here in the top right, Whirlwind, our Terran player in the blue. Up here in the top left, we have our red Zerg. Swoops. There it is. You know what I'm sick of seeing? I'm sick of seeing Hydralisk blow up by mines. I want to see Guardians. I want to see battle cruisers. Actually, I'd even be okay if this was a bio game. We've been seeing mech play from our Summit Wind friend here. And I'd be okay to see something a little bit different. Alright, so Overlord is heading over to the correct location. Past 2 games, we have seen Swoops go into a 12 hatch. He's actually kind of done the same initial opening, both games. We'll see if he keeps that going. We do get a wall here at the natural from Summit Wind, something that we've seen multiple times. Now, the wall here is going to be able to get spotted by Swoops, and if Swoops is quick on his reaction, he can keep his Overlord from being seen, still forcing Summit Wind to go out and scout. So we'll see if that's kind of what happens. Or what? So he does see it. He's going to see the barracks being built. Now, does he overextend with this Overlord? No. Places it perfectly. Beautiful spot. Beautiful. Expansion going down for our Zerg player. And it's not going to matter anyway. The SCV is going right to where it's supposed to go. He's going to go to the top left. Get a first scout off here for Whirlwind. Got the spawning pool. We've got the extractor. We're going mech again, baby. And I like his flavor of mech. It's a very vulture tank heavy mech style. Doesn't dwell on the Goliaths too long. That might be a result of the fact that we haven't been seeing a ton of early Mutalisk pressure. And I think, honestly, speaking of Mutalisk pressure, I think the big turning point of last game, well, there's two things. The first thing was Swoops was able to prevent that third base from getting up for a very long time. He just did not let Terran get his third base up, which is appropriate. It should be hard for Terran to do that. The second thing was, from an engagement perspective, that one fight outside the Zerg's base where he swarmed with Mutalisks and killed like 10 tanks. 10 tanks, like a million vultures. That was huge from like an army perspective. Then he went back into Hydralisk and kept trickling in mutas with his army, and that ultimately proved be effective. Now, I'm curious here as well if Swoops decides to throw a Spire right here, like he did last game, to prevent that Vulture run by. We'll have to see. Expansion from Terran, Vulture being produced, gas still being mined. Such a great game. Such a great game. Ah. Ghost Legs. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. Alright, so he is putting the Spire up here. He's going to be walling off, preventing any type of run-bys from Vultures into the main. Expansion almost complete. Second factory going down. Now, last game, he did send his single Vulture across. This time it looks like he's keeping it back. He might send it when he gets a few more. But it doesn't actually look like he's producing more. It looks like he went up to the machine shop, going straight into his armory. So, content with playing with a lower Vulture count. Layer is up, Spire down, only a couple Zerglings, getting a third hatchery, so same build that we've seen the past couple of games from both players, really. It's come down to just a couple of things, namely being the third base from Terran, and then the use of Mutalisks. Okay, we're also getting the engineering bay for Terran right on time, be able to get turrets up right as Mutalisks are likely to arrive. Crap, man, I got something in my eye. Bummer. Evo chamber. That is something that we've seen from Swoops. Definitely likes his upgrades. Or at least he stays on top of them. +1 weapons again, wherever the armory is, and Charon boosters. And we already have Mutalisks on the way. So Mutalisks are being built right now. We don't have really any Goliaths out, right? The first two are going to be popping out. We're starting to get missile turrets. Now, we're only seeing one at the natural this time, and I think that that's a little scary, especially considering the spawn locations, because this natural is really vulnerable, especially to mutas that are approaching from the left-hand side. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of the mutas here are rallying to the south of the natural, though, so he may try to go into the main. Yeah, unfortunately for Swoops, that is the decision. Andrew! Thanks for following, man. What's the S1 stand for in your name? I only ask because in the military, S1 was like the human resources guy, the people person. Anyway, back over here, we got a third hatchery going up at the 9 o'clock. Going up to 5 hatch Hydra, it looks like. Well, we don't have a Hydra this den. The 5 hatcheries, still sitting on the spire, getting +1 air weapons. And the Muta's hopefully going to come in here and try to get some damage. Now, a second turret has been built. There are 6 of them here. They do end up flying away. But they're going to be able to plink away at this wall. Needs to bring him back just a tad. Taking a lot of damage from that turret. Little unfortunate. Swoops doesn't seem to really like harassing too much with the Mutalisks. Lifting the barracks, this is going to give his turrets vision and his Goliath's vision over this cliff. So that'd be very helpful for picking off this Overlord potentially, defending this mineral line from these Mutalisks. Yeah, this Overlord's toast. That's going to supply block our Zerg hero. We do have the Hydra Den now. So initiate Hydra production. Now, it's 8 minutes, so Whirlwind might be thinking about taking a third. Getting his 4th factory up. And +1's complete. Let's see if he pushes. Let's see what he does. Mutalisk coming in a little bit. Trying to harass, keep an eye on where this Terran's army is. Swoop's banking up a lot of gas here. If he wanted to get Lurker, he definitely could. Holy crap, I don't even think we've ever seen an Academy or Scanners go down for our Terran player in this series. Just something I realized. I mean, he always has the science vessels and stuff, but generally speaking, getting Scanners is something you usually do, eventually. Alright, here comes a push with the Goliaths. Only 6 Mutalisks. We're going to have to transition and get some forces out on the map. We've got 5 Hydralisks here. We're starting to pump more out. And it looks like he might be going straight for the 3rd. I don't know. Maybe he's checking down here to the bottom left. Where are these Goliaths going? This is a little sketchy, actually, for Terran, because these Goliaths, you really want to preserve them, right? So if you're going to poke out with them, try to get some damage, try to keep the Zerg at home, you really don't want them to get surrounded and knocked out. Now, with them down here in the bottom left, they are really suffering 2 problems. 1, they're isolated, they're alone, they could be picked off. And 2, the rest of your army at home doesn't have all your Goliaths. Like, they're not there. Which could open up some more harassment opportunities in the event there was a lot more Mutalisks, or whatever the case may be. So, Mutalisk's going to dive in here a little bit, and you can see really just stuck with 2 turrets defending. Swoop's likely identifying, like, hey, where are those dozen Goliaths that were hanging out earlier? Spreading out a bunch of Overlords. You know why? Because we've just saw an hour of mines killing every Hydralisk on the field. So Overlord's going to be peeking out. Here come the mines, right on time. Alright, so the Goliaths have made their way back home. They're going to start shredding through these Hydralisks. Kind of a rough state right now for Zerg. This looks pretty powerful. This looks pretty powerful. Now, if we look up here in the base, we're at 6 factories, 2 armories, starport, irradiate. Back here on the Zerg side, we are at +1, going up to 2-1 here in just a second. You know, these 6 Mutalisks have actually survived the whole time. That's definitely something. Haven't gotten a ton of damage done. You know, a kill here and there. I think 2 kills between all of them. But they're still there, and there's still opportunities for them to come in handy to potentially like pick off tanks and stuff. Like if we can whittle down these Goliaths with the Hydralisk Force or whatever we can use, then the Mutalisk can still come in and provide a good amount of value. Alright, but we do have 6 tanks. Like, this is just a very good force, right? A few more Vultures in here would really make this extremely deadly, but 6 tanks barreling down towards your natural is a scary feeling for anyone. Supply disparity is a little big, 87 to 136. Trying to get a little bit of a flank. The Hydralisk dying to all these mines that I think the Overlord was sitting on top of too, so that's kind of a bummer. Alright, now it looks like Whirlwind trying to get organized. Hydralisk coming back in, or Mutalisk coming back in. Here we go. If they can kill this turret and park right here, get a lot of damage done. Whirlwind again with his super impressive ability to actually have his SCVs do what he tells them to do. Getting huge repairs off on this turret. Now this is delaying the attack pretty heavily here on the front. Now Hydralisk able to jump on top of these siege tanks that aren't sieged. There's only one sieged here. Whirlwind able to quickly remedy that problem. He's aggroing a good amount of these Terran units forward though. Terran needs to be careful not to just bleed out troops willy-nilly, which is a very scientific term, I think. You might have to look on Urban Dictionary to see what willy-nilly means. Alright, Zerg expanding down here at the bottom left, going to give him the 4th base. But honestly, I want more army. I want more mutas. Imperial willy-nillys. The freedom unit of willy-nilly. Atlantis University. Yes. Nice job there, bringing in those Terran units to just get murked by these Sunkens. But Terran is still almost twice the supply of Zerg, which is usually, like, they're usually ahead in supply, but like this is a lot. But okay, one thing to point out: not many freaking whatever these are called, the mech dudes. Not many Goliaths left. Still enough to kill 1 or 2 Mutalisks, but if they're able to get targeted down, we could see a similar engagement that we saw last game, where like 12 Mutalisks come in and just clean up. And that would be the army reset that Swoops really needs right now. And I think he's trying to make that happen. The problem is that he's trickling them out. He needs to have them like staged, yeah, like right here. Just stage them back until the last moment, right? Try to fight on top of the Sunkens. Ideally before they're all dead, like this situation. This is looking bad. Trying to get a flank here. This should cut off reinforcements, but there's already a lot. Spire at risk. We are getting that Mutalisk count up higher though. I think this is going to be a pivotal moment. This might either be a GG for Zerg, or if he can come in here and kill all these Goliaths and clean up the rest of the army, it might just be a GG from Terran. Here we go, the Mutalisk doing a lot of work. The Irradiate not helping Zerg's cause here a whole lot. Oh god, that Irradiate's doing so much damage. And there was just enough to kill these Mutalisks. These are going to be the last Mutalisks able to be made until another Spire is produced. And Terran looks like he has just enough to power through and get established here at the natural, skipping the natural, going right up into the main. A few more Mutalisks here. Hydralisk popping out. We'll see if he can ultimately defend this. This is coming down to the wire. This is really close. But I think with the siege set up the way it is, like these Mutalisks, like they just need to get in here and they can kill this. They might have been forgotten about, and oh man, Swoops GG's. That was, I think, a very, very close game, and ultimately a really, really fun series. GG's to both players, but that is going to go to Whirlwind, giving the big naturals, known for their personality, the 2-1 victory over in these 3 series. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I do sincerely apologize for having the StarCraft Underground stuff plastered all over the place. But I think what we'll do now is we'll finish off with our anthem, right? Got to show respects. And then I'm going to go ahead and find someone to raid, and we're going to raid the crap out of them. It's going to be great. We're going to have a wonderful time. And I'm just saying a bunch of words so I can stall and find my song. Where's my song? Where's my anthem at? I have all these different things open because the pictures were all jacked up. All right, y'all. Buckle up. It's anthem time, which is ultimately probably one of the most important times of the day. If I could freaking hit the button. Here we go.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds enthrall. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, legends play! CPL, we fight tonight! Let us sing the storyline! From the shadows to the dream, we are the coach you believe! We are the coach you believe!
Let us raid someone worthy. Let's find someone. Urbmon. That was easy. Say hi to Urbmon. Wonderful Zerg player, CPLer, supporter of this stream. Great dude. So make sure you say hi to him. And I'll talk to you all later. Thanks, y'all. Bye.